What's going on, everybody? It's another Saturday night. It's Collecting Justified. I know I'm talking, and I know you see Justin right there. Okay, well, you did, and now you don't. That's called magic, folks. And I'm taking over, I guess. We just didn't want to have a stream with Justin. That seems pretty justified, I guess. But all right, yeah. So we're here. It's Saturday. Justin's back. He comes and goes as he pleases. At any point, Justin, let me know when you are back up and running, and just cut me off whenever you want to take over. Otherwise, folks, you get me tonight. What? It's like a Friar's Day, Saturday. I don't even know what day of the week it is anymore, but it is Collecting Justified. So we'll go through the housekeeping. You know the drill. That's what we're going to do, all right? I haven't even reviewed these slides, so we're going to all learn together.
Well, first, Kenny, sorry.
Yeah, please.
We should point out that we are late. We're later than usual. What time is it? Like 10:45 at night right now?
Yeah, I was just going to breeze over that. I was going to let the general public forget that happened.
The public knows that we're late, and we're late because of Justin. It's Justin's fault again that we're late. Yeah. So there's a storm going on in whatever backwoods town Justin lives in. So he has very shoddy internet connectivity. And so we've been trying to get him on, and he's freezing, and he's, his wife's, on a stationary bike powering the generator that connects to internet, and she's not pedaling fast enough. So Justin is in and out. So forgive Justin for all of these transgressions because he.
Fine.
Yeah,
that was the wrong one, but
Yeah, we need the transparency one so that we're not. Well, it's whatever, Kenny. You're figuring it out as you go.
That's right.
And then we do have to acknowledge Cleva is here. Cleva's Multiverse. Welcome.
Appreciate you guys, man. Thank you for having me, man. Appreciate
you. We do insist that this is not typically how it usually goes on the stream. Usually we're a little more together than this. So, but we can collectively blame Justin. So just
All right, we're gonna make it special. It's special. That's what it means.
exactly.
Exactly,
Memorable and special. So okay, so I guess now go ahead and launch into the housekeeping.
Okay.
And,
let me try this one. There it is. Okay.
Whoa.
I found it. All right. Oh, but then you gotta take it off. All right. All right. Some housekeeping. How about that?
Yeah.
All right. So you know this channel. It's just Justin Collects. This is Collecting Justified. Saturday nights at 8:45 ish or 9:10, depending on the Saturday.
Hey.
Oh, look, we have a new thumbnail. This isn't it, but that is the rest of us there. Andrew's not here. He is locked in a basement somewhere. We'll get to that. Speaking of that,
cellar, maybe
a storm cellar. Yes. You see the animation though. We did get a tweak to the thumbnail here, so you saw that debut this week for the Collecting Justified thumbnail. We're all cartoons now. Okay, that's it's like we're living out a Saturday morning cartoon fantasy from our childhood. I don't know.
Or have we been cartoons all along?
That is probably the case.
Yeah.
Oh, look, is this the right slideshow, Justin? You're just showing a bunch of slides here. There's this is Captain Communism up here. Yeah.
Well, I thought Alexi's hat. I read it on the stream last week, and it said Golden Gate, but I wanted it to say Sweet Garden Gates, Alexi.
That would be good.
We need to make a note of that. Those
Sweet
in the know.
Garden Gates half marathon. Let's go.
Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead, Kenny. I'm just going to keep jumping in,
I think that's the way we're going to do this, until Justin finally shows up for his own stream. Andrew, speaking of Andrew, who is currently locked in a storm cellar, not a wine cellar. That would be way cooler.
Lucky. Really lucky.
Yeah. No one ever lucks out like that. But the Free Andrew from the Basement Fund is live. If you feel like you want to contribute to this channel, maybe then we can afford better equipment and the host will actually be here. And that's a possibility. I don't make promises, but just think about the possibilities.
And Compulsive Collector in the chat says, say what you will about Justin, but at least he's consistently the worst. Justified. Justified.
You guys know that there are memberships for this channel, 2 tiers, the Justified and the Justified MVPs. I consider those equal groups. I've never said anything to the contrary, nor would I ever imply that either group is lesser than the other, despite what you may have heard on the internet. I don't know. Not me. Could be someone else. But anyway, that is open for memberships. If you feel like joining, you should do it. Again, it only contributes to making sure that your host shows up for. Oh, he's back. Oh, sorry. Speaking of those members, at the beginning and end of each stream, we do read those off for better or worse, depending on the overall judgment of the chat. I blame you all, not me. Okay. The Justified MVPs, we've got Agent Z-Man, Legion X, Compulsive Collector, John Morrissey, David Evan Smith, you see below me there, Michael Davis, St. James, myself, Encounter Culture, Dan Who Reviews starts off the Justified, Christopher Allen, Displayed Once, Kurt K, Cole's Cave, your boy's got toys, he's down there, Michael, Bring Toys to Work, Super Turk 5000, Mikey Moon Boots, Jay's Toy Collection, Chi Collects, Jared Byrne, Jesse Hubbard, Burgos LJ, Shane Shooter, Tac Tac Toys, KJ Smith, STM Figures, Stone Capybara. Now, that felt unnatural, folks. I don't think I've ever.
I'm like really gobsmacked that you were able to do it in like less than 2 minutes. Like you had that in you all along. You were capable.
I can't tell you how much that it hurt me on the inside.
Wow.
Yeah.
It was a blessing. I enjoyed it thoroughly.
Well, we'll keep that in mind. As you may have seen during the week, we do have a special guest, David mentioned earlier at the beginning of this stream, but we are joined by Cleva's Multiverse. He does have his own channel on YouTube, Instagram. He's over there as well. But if you haven't checked out Cleva's channel, do yourself a favor. He's got a great series on the channel he's running right now, just providing great insight and thoughtfulness into the idea of collecting and what it's all about. So shout out to Cleva. Hey, we appreciate you being on the channel, and I've been really enjoying the recent series that you're running over on your channel there.
Yeah, thank you, man. I appreciate that, man. I appreciate you guys for having me. And it's been really good, man. The past, I want to say like 6 weeks, man. Been really, really good. You know what I mean? I think I landed on something with this more than just toys. And I mean, I feel like it's like when 50 dropped the Baby by Me, right? And made it a line. Then he came back and he was like, nah, this got to be the whole song, though. You know, like, there's more to this. There's more to this. And I felt like that's what it was. So I just been grinding with that.
And it's been great, like I said. So I really hope that you keep that going. And I can understand, like, it's probably something like you might not have an idea every week, but if it's something that you can do at least once a month or, you know, every couple of weeks, you know, keep it up either way. I think a lot of people will benefit from watching that. And it looks like you've been getting some good interaction with it too. So
yeah, man, it's been picking up. It's like a blessing, man. It just came out of nowhere, you know. I mean, I've had my channel up, I think, for about roughly the same time that Justin's had his up, you know what I mean? Because I remember we was just like neck and neck for a little bit. He was like a little bit ahead of me at some point, and I remember I was like, man, you know, we're coming up together, and you know, it's like hit and miss on this YouTube stuff, man. It's like you're on the highway, you find a little spot that somebody cuts in front of you, and you thought you had some rhythm, but you got to hit the brakes, and you got to move back, and it's like, what? And then you finally find something where it's like, oh, nobody even know this lane is here. You know what I mean? And it's like, now I could just open up the car and go 5th, 6th gear on it. You know what I mean? And nobody's there. And hopefully by the time they catch on, they're like, what's going on over there? It's too late because I'm trying to stamp this. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Love that.
That's good. It's real good. So I guess before we get into like the actual stream, we usually like to just shout out the chat, and then we'll go through some pickups. So Cleva, I don't know if you have anything like from the week that you've picked up that you want to show off. Once we get through like shouting out the chat, we'll go through that. We'll go through like the group first to kind of show you, you know, how the ropes and everything, how it goes. And then, like I said, anything you want to show off recently that you've picked up, you know, that's the time to do it.
I mean, I got a couple things here that I nothing crazy that I picked up, but I've been trying to do some backtrack, and I think this is where I think I have a list of things, right? Sometimes it's like, I want this. If I see it, I'm definitely going to grab it. And then sometimes you have things like, I like this. If nothing else is there, I will grab it. But if something else is there, then I got to put this back. So I think this is like that week where I'm just picking up on like things I would pick up if nothing else is there.
The consolation prize shopping.
Yeah, you know, it didn't make my main list. I probably have something like that already. I kind of want it, but not really. Not better than something else, you know. Like right now, I really want Soundwave. Right? I'm looking for a Soundwave, right? And if I see Soundwave, he's gonna trump everything. But I came across like an Optimus that I was like looking for a little bit. This is an older one, but I still didn't have it yet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Trying to big up, you know, leader class Optimus. And if you guys have realized what GameStop is doing, so GameStop has tariffed their in stock prices already. Yeah. So like not even the stuff that's on the boat. I'm talking about in stock, the stuff that everybody else still got for 25. They're like, oh no, we need 30 for that for some reason. So I got it for the regular 54s. And let me jump on this for they turn to 70 real quick. And I just happened to come across that. I'm trying to big up my my Transformers section. I don't know if you guys rock out. I don't know if you guys rock out with blockies, but I do like blockies every once in a while. I mean,
Justin does, yeah.
These are cool, man. I mean, these are cool because I feel like they complement. I don't have any back there. I got them up here, but I feel like these complement other Transformers that you may have like in vehicle mode or like, you know, jet mode or whatever, because these you can't transform, right? So you could just have them like standing in the background, kind of complementing or taking up spots that you may want for somebody else later. But these guys are going for like $5. So it's like they're not that bad. So I picked up a couple of these and I have a few of them. I'm really trying to get Megatron. I picked up 4 of those. These are blind boxes, so you really can't tell what's inside till we open them.
I was about to ask, Marvel, is that a little frustrating if you end up with like 2 of the same and, you know, not the one you were really hoping for?
So yeah, I have not got a double yet, right? But what I would do is if I had a double, I would take it to my job and I'll put it over there and I'll be like, all right, I'll put it on the job on the desk or something or on the cut right there. It hasn't happened yet. But if it was to be a double, I'd be like, can I get a double of Megatron or something like that? Like, you know, I don't want to double some whackness. So, you know, of course, gotta pick up the Adam Warlock. I saw him laying around. So from this series right here, I know everybody's going crazy for the ROM, but I really have no history with the ROM. So I really can't with the ROM character. So I really can't pick him up. I know he's a great sculpt. I know he looks dope. I just have nowhere where he would go. You know, I just don't have a reason for him. I've seen him a bunch of times. I've seen guys who are looking for him. And I saw a 6 of him the other day, and I was like, man, I know somebody else would have snatched all of these. You know, but I did want the Adam Warlock really for the
Infinity Gauntlet.
Infinity Gauntlet.
The glove is epic. I do have it in the Infinity War section. So I wanted that to go on there. I've came across all of these guys so far. I think the best ones from this wave, in my opinion, is Banshee and Adam Warlock. Rom I know is dope, but like I said, I have no history with him, so I really can't speak on him. He is dope. I had Dak in my hand. I really couldn't do nothing with him. I'm not really interested in that. Ultimate Iron Man, and then Ultimate Miles Morales. I need like 5 minutes of no Miles Morales is, and then the Eddie Brock. I'm sorry, the Eddie Brock. The
Flash Thompson.
Flash Thompson. I have all the Eddie Brocks, and I have the older Anti-Venom, but this one, it was about the head sculpt. And I was like, yo, I didn't think I was going to come across him. And I came across him, and I was like, wow. I did have Professor X, but I was too happy to put him in the chair and put him up in the Infinity War section. So I don't have the Savage Land Professor X on me right now, but he would have been in the box, and I just took him out like 2 days ago. And that's what I got for recent pickups for like this week, because I don't know what you guys have been doing, but I've been trying to catch them pre-orders for the Gamerverse.
Yeah.
And man, that Psylocke got me pissed off. Don't even get me started. Talk about that. That got me hot, man. I don't know. Did you guys come off with that? Or what's up?
I was able to get it, but I know
for some reason,
quick.
Yo, you can still find Wolverine right now, like days later. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you know, and I think you guys can see where I'm going with this, but I'm like, yo, is there any reason for store exclusives anymore? Like, what is the purpose of a store exclusive in 2025? Because I can see back in the days when everything was just, you know, flowing and we had so many. Let's make one of these an exclusive. But everything's an exclusive today, my brother. Everything's an exclusive, man.
I think it's probably
Target.
I think it's probably the partnerships with those companies, with Target or Walmart, that they probably commit to buying a certain amount to justify a production run. And so, like, Target's financial commitment to Psylocke and Thanos helps with the costs of producing that set. That's what I would assume from the outside looking in. You know, I mean, not that we wouldn't all buy Psylocke and Thanos through another channel,
right?
You know, but I think Target's probably eating some of the cost of producing it.
So they get the best characters. Yo, they get Warbird, Savage Professor X, Psylocke. I mean, you putting these guys behind paywalls? Like, why don't you give him Dakin? Why don't you give him Rom? Why don't you give them Rom or something like that? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Why? Oh, you get Psylocke? I could have told you that was gonna fly. You know what I mean? Everybody knows Psylocke's go up tremendous. I don't even think they make the shows. So you put that, and the 2-pack was already okay, fine, but put it everywhere because it's gonna fly regardless. You seen the
maybe Legends provides options to Target of which one do you want as your exclusive, and then they have to pay a certain amount to nab that as their exclusive. So they went after the Psylocke because they know it's going to be hot, and to drive traffic to Target, because Target is kind of struggling a little bit with the whole tariff situation. So maybe they went for that because it's going to be the hottest one. Whereas Walmart, they don't have a good negotiating person at Walmart, and they ended up with the Omega Red and War Machine pack.
Yeah, that's the one I was gonna pass on. I think I had it.
Nobody wants
it.
Yeah,
that's
so
the
like,
one I could pass on the most.
Maybe Target's negotiator is a stronger negotiator than the Walmart negotiator. You know what I'm saying?
But
or maybe he just knows what he's doing.
Yeah,
he just knows he actually reads the books. You know what I'm saying?
To that point though, I'm kind of surprised that Target didn't go for the Wolverine and then like the Psylocke and Thanos be the kind of just mainline.
Yeah.
I mean, who knows? Maybe they're just throwing shit at the wall and seeing what sticks. That could be the case too. But.
As a store, I would have took Gargantos, whatever you want to call him, but I would have took Schumer. As a store, oh yeah, that all day. That's a one and done right there.
Yeah, that's a hot figure. Yeah.
So I did not get it. I did get a pre-order on the Wolverine and the Silver Samurai. For some reason, I was thinking 9 a.m. I get to work, and the post that Charlemagne's dropped on Facebook is what made me wake up. And he missed out, and he was like, "Really?" And I was like,
he
"Look,"
was
I said,
upset.
"What?" Yeah, and he made me upset because right after that, I was like, "What?" And I found out that I was done because I'm thinking I had time for my coffee, and I was gonna log in, and not really.
Nah.
And they're already over 100. Already over 100.
Yeah, I saw those stupid listings.
That's crazy, man.
Do you look at other like sites that are based in Canada? Because here on this channel, we Kenny and I at least support cmdstore.com, and they're based in Canada, but they ship from like, I don't know,
New York, like upstate New York. Yeah.
So like they usually get a lot of stuff earlier because Canada gets it earlier, and even Target exclusives are not a thing for Canada. So like they will
really?
Yes. So like I got Savage Land Professor X in like February or January, or I don't even remember. But yeah, Savage Land Professor X went in stock on CMD at like, I feel like it was February. So like you're not committed to only being able to get it through Target, you know?
That's good news. I have CMD store on my bookmarks right there. I'm looking at it right now, and I haven't ordered from them. I mean, I know of them, and I know they get it, and I know they have the Canada, the US distribution. I did not know that they can get exclusives as well, though.
Yeah,
you know that's news to me.
I ordered the shipping to me now is the Rogue reissue from X-Men '97, and I think that was supposed to be a Target exclusive reissue as well
for the comeback. Her and Gambit, right?
Yeah.
Those are the two I missed from that way. I had them in my hand too, and I put them back.
Ooh.
That X-Men '97. So the first wave came out before the animated series. So I remember even Wolverine was sitting there for a little bit. It was all kind of sitting there. It wasn't really nothing. I mean, I'm not saying that wasn't going to sell, but you had a little bit of time. The minute that dropped and Remy died and Rogue was crying, that's it. It was old game.
It went wild. Like who expected the Rogue to be the one to like go off though? Like
really?
I mean,
I would.
Look, they're all great, but I don't know. I think like Wolverine's a super popular character, right? And that sold out everywhere, and it definitely went up on the aftermarket. But as far as the figures, like the Cyclops is probably, I don't know, for my money, that's one of the best figures. You know, Bishop's great.
I would get a second Bishop if that was available again, because that is a great figure, and that's like even a better comic upgrade to the comic one they released.
Yeah.
You know? But
that Cyclops is tough. That Cyclops is tough. I still like the original one I have from the Jim Lee, but because that one has more like paint deco on it. This one is to that's I'm looking at it through my thing. That one and Wolverine are probably my favorite from that wave right there. That X-Men '97 with the cowl is crazy. I love that. I love that Wolverine.
It is. So you guys want to continue pickups? We'll go through. David, you got anything?
Is me? Yeah, Alexi, do you have anything?
I do, yeah. Do you want me to go?
You have a lot?
I have a wave and then an import.
Go ahead, because I think mine kind of leads more into Kenny.
Okay. Actually, that's good. Yeah, because I got Okay. Yeah.
So this week I got the Legends Nemesis wave in. Nice. I know the tea bags over the pond have been waiting for this, and they've been getting it slowly but surely. But we got this shit here and now, and I got to be honest, I wasn't expecting this thing to be as large as it is. Here it is next to Maximum Hulk, so they're kind of the same size. Yeah, like Nemesis way or the Nemesis Bath is pretty big.
Maximum Nemesis.
Maximum Nemesis. He can't clap though. What the fuck? Oh, come on.
You know, anyway. He couldn't clap with one hand.
Yeah, you don't know what the sound of one hand clapping is? As far as figures from the wave go, I wanted Fabian Cortez. He's a must-have if you're doing X-Men villains, or if you're a fan of the Asteroid M storyline, like Cortez. If you watch the animated series, not 97, but the original animated series, spoilers, Apocalypse is the one that takes over Cortez's body in that show. So definitely one of Fabian Cortez. I don't know about you guys, but I feel like the recent like human skin paint apps have been really pink, or like they're like,
yes. There's definitely a pink hue to them.
Yeah, they have like this weird color to them. Cool figure. It's
That's
like
what I look like in the middle of July anyway, like a little pink, so it's fine.
With no sunscreen or anything like that. Yeah. You know, we get the fire effects that we've seen from Pyro and a couple other fire related characters in the Legends line before. But you know, it's still a cool figure. So really happy with this one. Also really happy with this Extreme Wolverine. Great figure. I love the claw style on this. This is actually my first pinless Legends Wolverine. So he's got pinless legs there. Really hope they end up using these legs for the Black Ops or the Team X Wolverine.
Yes.
But I'm hoping we get that down the line pretty soon, though. Same thing with the belt here. Like the gold paint on that belt and the pockets and everything would be perfect on a Team X / Black Ops Wolverine. And then, of course, you got the pinless like top here. The top is completely painted. None of this is sculpted. So you're looking at the same upper body that the Weapon X Target exclusive is also using. It's just got different, you know, it doesn't have sculpted pockets into the butt and stuff like that. But this is it. This is what the top of your Weapon X is going to look like. So I'm happy to have pinless Wolverine. Like I said, it's my first one from Legends. Really cool figure. And then the other figure that I was looking forward to from this wave is already in my display. I don't know if you can see it there. There's Nightcrawler upside down. Yeah, it's a X-Force Nightcrawler upside down right there in the display already. And then I think there was, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. No, I guess that is the only figure that I kept from that wave. So really happy to have it. You know, it's a walk down memory lane getting a BAF wave because I don't do BAFs anymore. But back in the day, that was like a really cool thing to do, was have a Build-A-Figure in the Legends line.
It was.
Yeah. They just
don't
make them like they used to. Yeah.
So wait, so you only kept Nightcrawler and the Wolverine and the BAF?
And Fabian Cortez.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. So I'm selling Gambit, selling Husk, and Cyclops. Am I missing something?
Marrow?
Oh, Marrow. Yeah, Marrow is right here. Yeah, Marrow also really cool. And that was another reason that I picked up the wave. Thank you for reminding me. With the Gamerverse stuff coming out and all the Marvel versus Comcast lines, shirt there. I also wanted to get Marrow. I almost picked her up solo, but it was like $25 on BBTS, and I was like, I should just get the whole wave. Like, I want other characters from that wave. So got Marrow. Really excited to have her. Moves a lot better than I expected. I'm kind of over the torso articulation, just having like the diaphragm cut, but not having any waist cut or anything down here. I think overall, really nice figure, you know what I'm saying? But I think the articulation could be a little bit improved, and I accept the diaphragm cut, especially if you're getting design like that on the back. But it would have been nice to have some kind of articulation down here at the waist.
Yeah.
Overall, really cool figure still. And of course, you need it for like your Marvel versus Capcom stuff that you're going to be building.
Word.
Yeah.
And she's supposed to be that pink, by the way. She was always a little more pink.
Oh, okay. Just like your bone marrow. Now I get it. Wow. Thank you. And then I also got the 1.5 of Amazing Yamaguchi Deathstroke. So if you are a 1/12 scale DC collector, you know how hard it is to get good DC figures. And this month or this week, we got another sick 1/12 scale DC figure from Amazing Yamaguchi. This is a 1.5, which means they use the exact same body. Not really any updates on articulation. So You can see there he's got a ball joint in the back of his knee, and it bends like an Amazing Yamaguchi does, which means you get more than 90, but it's out of a single ball. And if you try to bend it straight back again, it's going to go like out wonky. So with Amazing Yamaguchi, you got to know what you're getting and you got to expect it. And as long as you are down for what they're offering, they're really cool figures. And the accessories that he came with, like the God Sword here with flame effects, everything fits into the hands really well. Everything fits on him. Like there's plenty of holes to port on the accessories, and happy to have this figure. The only other Deathstroke figure in 1/12 scale I had prior to this was the DC Icons Deathstroke from the what comic story is this with Terra Judas Contract. This is from the Judas Contract. It's an older figure. It's still a cool figure, but not as articulated as the Amazing Yamaguchi. So probably going to end up selling him for like $25-$30 or something, and keeping the Amazing Yamaguchi in my collection. But really happy to have him. I already went over my X-Force pickups, and I got more imports on the way in the next week or two, but I think that's it for me right now.
Very good. Very good.
Okay. So I'm in that phase of like consolation shopping because the aisles are a little dry right now at the stores. So I did decide to just pick up a little Mario and Luigi. I'm in a video game kind of mood lately with this Don't Say Capcom kind of thing. So also picked up a furry costume Mario and a Peach. And then at GameStop, there was a MJ figure from No Way Home on clearance for $11. Like I got it for like $11 because I had a $5 coupon at GameStop. Nice job, GameStop. And I used it to make a Monet from X Factor Investigations, Peter David run. R.I.P. Peter David. He passed recently. But yeah, little Monet.
What's the recipe on that?
The body is MJ, and then the coat is black costume Emma Frost.
Which MJ is that?
The movie MJ, the Zendaya.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah,
but the purple sweater is removable, you know, like
got
if
it.
Pop the arms. So yeah, and then I drew the X logo on the tee. With a
drew that?
Yeah.
Wow, that looks really good.
Thanks. I feel like it's pretty sharp, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So excited to have another version of Monet. And then this is where we kind of lead into Kenny because I have some Superman pickups. So the new movie Superman, pretty nice. This is the deluxe version that came with Crypto. So I wasn't sure if I was going to buy this, but saw it in the store. Looked better than some of the original pictures that I saw of it. So you agree, Kenny?
Agreed. And it was less than what they said before. Didn't they say $39.99 when they announced it? It was $34.99.
Yeah. So yeah, I was like, you know, might as well. I'll have one representation. I have to see the movie before I go crazy with like other characters. Like I left Mr. Terrific on the shelf and the robot number 4. Yeah, definitely left Baby Joey on the shelf. And then I also picked up The Strange Lives of Superman. What does he call? Is he Super Lion? Is he Lion of Steel? Is
why you always lying?
Mane of Steel.
But the S curl in the lion's mane, man, you can't beat that kind of detail. Little S curl right on the forehead.
Yeah.
So,
good.
I mean, I'm Cleva. You'll learn. I'm about the wacky action figures that I can't imagine like anybody would ever make. And
I mean, I've never seen that before, but that looks different.
It's different. It's from a comic cover. It's Superman Annual #3, I think. Strange Lives of Superman, and they show all different alternate versions of Superman. The figure comes with like 2 other heads, and then there's a red variant, which we're all still looking for. That comes with 2 other heads. to make all the different versions that are on that comic cover. So, or many of the versions that are on the comic cover. So yeah, it's just like, I want things in my collection. People are gonna walk by and be like, "What the hell is that?" Like,
Exactly. Yeah.
right?
And a soft goods cape. Who makes that?
McFarlane, Bendy
Really?
Wire soft goods cape.
Yeah. Nah,
And
I
this
like
was a
that.
basic price point, like $22.99.
$22.99. Yeah.
So if they can do it at McFarlane, we can start doing it in Legends.
Oh,
Just
definitely.
saying. So yeah, that's all my pickups.
Is it though, David? Is it because you also picked up
Oh,
a
well, you picked
bronze?
it up for me.
Yeah,
Can't wait.
yeah. You'll get to show it off again, but
Nice.
here it
I'm
is.
so excited.
You know, in the
I have not
fort.
been able to find that. Like, that's the bronze Batman '89. So, like, I'm a sucker.
Why
for-
bronze?
Huh?
What's the logic behind the release?
Why not?
Exactly.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
That was
I mean, I
literally-
bought
that
the
was
False
movie.
God
Yeah.
Superman. That's like it's painted like the statue in the movie, but it's still an action figure with a bendy wire cape. So, like, I think this one, Kenny, you can correct me because you have it in hand. Is it not a bendy wire cape? It's just a loose cloth, right?
Yeah, just a cloth, no wire there.
Yeah. But yeah, I like the idea of it as a statue, kind of a tribute piece. I can put it central in a display somewhere, like they've erected a statue to Michael Keaton's Batman. You know?
Exactly. So I guess I'll keep it McFarlane, right? So we've already seen these, but I did find these as well. So Strange Lives of Superman, no chase though on that. Still looking for that guy.
Do you know the story of the red suit though? Because I
don't. Like I told you
in the comic cover.
I told you, like I'm not familiar with this run at all. So I definitely need to go back and see what all this is about.
Mm-hmm.
But it's fascinating seeing this. Like, how ridiculous is Superman line? I mean, the egghead thing is a little weird, but line's cool. And then
on
in
the
the
comic
chase,
cover,
you get
he's
the
called
mummy.
the future Superman in the comic cover.
He's
and then
so smart, right? Yeah.
the face wrapped one is the masked Superman.
Yeah.
And then they show an ugly Superman on the comic cover, but he's just a redheaded guy. Like, I don't really think he's drawn that.
Wow.
Ugly.
Okay.
I know. It's really kind of rude.
Is that like Mad Magazine face?
Dude,
down
it definitely.
On the bottom left?
That's what I think they were going for. They call that the goofy Superman on the cover of the comic. But yeah, that's what I think they were going for. The mad character.
And you get that head sculpt in the box?
In the red suit figure.
In the chase.
Oh, okay. So you get 2 with this one and then 2 with the chase.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got it. Or you get 3 with this.
Did you notice that Superman head sculpt in the package has a curl in the opposite direction?
Look at that, you son of a bitch.
I wonder what the story is with that too. Every other Superman curls in the opposite direction from that head sculpt. Strange lives.
I mean, it's right there in the name, you know. Also, I did find the deluxe with crypto, and for the same reason, it was there. I picked it. I was initially just going to get the regular one, right? Because I was like, I don't need to pay up for this deluxe, but it was $5 cheaper than initially listed. So, and it was there, you know, that's the killer though. It's like, I can plan this out all day long. Like, I'm not going to buy this, you know, I don't like the price point, but then like I'm in the store and they don't have the other figures that I'm looking for. So yeah, I'm just going to pick up what's there.
I think the promo pictures made the body look so boxy and the head looks small. But
the same issue with the Christopher Reeve Superman, right? Like, it didn't look good in the pictures, but then once you see it in person, then you're like, okay.
Yeah.
And plus, if the movie is good, I'm going to like the movie either way. We've already established that. But if the movie's actually good, then people will buy this figure, and I've already got it. So. Continuing the sick behavior that is buying McFarlane figures.
Oh my god, you just put that down and picked up the same figure.
No, this is the battle damaged one, dude.
How damaged is it?
It's not damaged enough. He's just dirty. It looks like they just rubbed some dirt on the figure.
And he has no dog.
No dog. No dog. No dog. All right. Wrapping it up here. So I stopped at Five Below today. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Culture Fly. They just do like these little sort of, I guess, I mean, they're sort of like Funko-ish in a way, but it's like very much to the character design, right? So like I started building that out behind me right there. So yeah, so I finished that out today. You know, $5 each, whatever, it's good. And then finally tying it back to Alexi with the X-Force, the Warpath X-23 arrived yesterday. I finally busted it out this morning. Still haven't filmed anything for it, but I'm definitely looking forward to getting these on the shelf, man. It's looking good.
Where'd you order that from?
Hasbro Pulse, actually. I did not get that from CMD store.
Okay. No, I haven't even seen it. It's on pre-order on CMD. That one's not even shipping yet from them. We got ours. Alexi and I got ours at BBTS.
So surprise! That's because that's right. You guys got it before, and I was complaining that I still hadn't got it, and I said that I got it from Hasbro Pulse, and amateur mistake because you know that's going to be the last place. But I'm still very surprised that CMD store didn't get it ahead of time. So
yeah, strange.
What's this?
They still don't have Bootless Gene either.
That's true. True.
Mm-hmm.
What's the shipping like with CMD? What's the shipping experience, prices, and speed, and all that?
It's really not that bad, and like I don't notice it much. Like I ordered the X-Men 97 Rogue. It was $27.99 on the site for the figure, and I think my total was maybe $40. So what's that? $13 shipping.
We still got tax. Like got
12?
tax, right? So like,
no, whole total was $40.
Oh, with tax?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, it's still coming from another country. That's what I was thinking. But I know they got the U.S. part.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool. I think I might check them out. I've been having them for a while, but I just haven't clicked on them.
Definitely look them out. I mean, I don't get any commissions from CMD yet.
Yeah, we're still working on that.
But we talk about them every week. So CMD, what's up? What's up?
Yeah.
Hold up, this one, mate. Your boy got toys. Is that where you got the Archangel from?
No, I got that. I got suckered by those stupid fucking tariff prices because I panic ordered all those from BBTS, but the price hasn't changed since I ordered them. So I got that Warpath 2-pack and I got that Archangel both from BBTS. And
my Archangel came from CMD though.
I think I saw you with like 3 weeks ago on the stream. You had it right, and then when I saw you did it, I grabbed my phone. I was like, hold up, wait, and I'm refreshed. What's the release date on this? Because I was checking for it, and then Best Buy didn't even have it out yet, and then the other one's still not coming out yet. So I was like, wait a minute.
For some reason, BBTS got their shipment in before a lot of other vendors because I got those shipped to me like a week or so, maybe a little over a week ago. But a lot of people are still barely getting them in, and that's not usually how BBTS operates.
Yep.
They're usually the last ones to get them. I feel like right, everybody gets to January, and they're like, "Oh, expect it like April." I'm like, "What? Pre-order April? Yeah. Why would I do that? Like, you're the last one I'm gonna check for, you know?"
Yeah. Especially if you're not expecting to spend that money at that time. Like when I got the emails, fuck.
Right.
Damn it, BBTS.
Before we get into the actual, because look, we're still under an hour, right? The mark is like we have to hit an hour before we actually get into the show. So we didn't shout out the chat yet. So I'm going to go through kind of, see who's been in the chat, and then, we'll get going. Justin may show up at some point. I think he's still having some internet issues, but all right. Early showing up, John Boudreau. Shout out, John. Good to see you there, John. Speaking of Johns, John Morrissey was there early because he thought Justin would actually be on time. Joke's on you, John Morrissey. Justin's not even here, so deal with that. David with the Davids. It's the only way to do it. And Alexi with the McFailures. Rick's out there with some cuppies. And John, Compulsive Collector,
Another
was
John
in the chat.
John.
Another John. A lot of Johns in this chat. And then Justin randomly just posted in the chat. I think David Evan Smith is the best co-host, and emphasize on best. I've ever experienced on YouTube. Yeah, so very nice comments from you, Justin. Surprised to see that. Yeah,
I really appreciate the kind words, Justin.
It's very much deserved. Cardback has shown up. Some melanin on the stream. Oh, Jesus Christ. All right. Thank you, Cardback. With always with the good comments, Cardback. JBTM. Hello, everyone. Hello, JBTM. And I don't Mike Delta Sierra. We did see you last week. Yeah, welcome back. Thank you. And Herb Lane.
That's my guys.
That's good. Okay. Yeah. Good to see you. Good to see you. Welcome over. I'm not the actual host of this channel, Herb. So if you're ever watching this channel and you don't see me on the actual videos, it'll make more sense. Justin did gift 5 memberships though. So if anybody knows who those memberships went to, we can shout those out as well. And let's see who else is here. Oh, Wolfpack is here. Shout out Wolfpack. Pock Photos. What up? The Puma in the chat. Gabriel also there.
Gabriel got a membership apparently.
There you go.
Yeah, I got the membership drops here. Cardback received a membership. I'm sure we can take that back. It started with a click. Shelly received a membership. Gabriel, which we just saw. Lone Dragon received a membership. Shout out Lone Dragon. Darth Primus, nice. Darth Primus got one. And it looks like that's our 5.
Well, congratulations to you all. I'm sorry. My condolences to you. Brad saying that Stan is the best one. I'd have to argue with you. I would argue that Kenny is the. I mean, I'm biased to that, but
they killed Kenny, so
I know. But it's the most, most I can get out of anything. John with the member chat. This is already the best episode of the show since the last time Kenny took the reins. 35 minutes in, and nary a mention of weed shit. That's right. Keep that for other streams, all right? Not this one. Not with me. Judge Dreads in the chat.
What up, Judge Dreads? I feel like I've seen you at Strong Collectors videos as well. So good to see you.
Good to see you guys. And welcome. So good amount of people in the chat. Glad we got some of Cleva's people over here as well. So good to see that going on. But yeah, so hey, good amount of people in the chat. Guys, keep that going. We definitely appreciate it. We do have, as we've mentioned a few times now, Cleva's Multiverse is here with us tonight. Shout out to his channel. I mentioned it earlier, but if you weren't here earlier, if you haven't checked out his channel, go over there, check it out. He's got a lot of great content on there, running a really good series that I've been diving into, and I'm digging it. It's a good vibe. You just want some thoughtfulness into what it is about collecting. It kind of ties into what we do here, right? It's all about justifying the collection. We've all been collecting for many years. There's a lot of stuff going on in our collections, why we do it, what we do, how we go about it. It all just kind of brings it together, and it gives another layer to that idea of what it is to be a collector at this stage, right? I mean, we're all grown, we're all adults. We've been around the block. We've been collecting for decades at this point. So, yeah, I mean, it's just, if you like this channel, you like these streams, do yourself a favor and go check out Cleva's channel. So it's Cleva's Multiverse on YouTube. Cleva, if you want to give yourself a promo on the channel, I don't need to speak for you about your channel. You're the runner of that channel. So the floor is yours for the moment. You want to talk about what you're doing over on that channel.
Sure, man. I mean, I try to drop videos now every Thursday. Look like it's working for me. Thursday mornings is working pretty good for me, just pretty much because of my schedule and the way I'm doing things. And that's what you can expect, a video from me, hopefully every Thursday morning at 7 o'clock. I'm going to try my best to make that happen. Am I going to keep with the More Than Just Toys series? I'm going to keep my foot on the gas for as long as it makes sense. I do want to try to, of course, do other things. My channel's been an experiment from the beginning. I think every channel is an experiment from the beginning. Nobody knows what they're doing day one, video one, episode one. We're all trying to wing this out and trying to see what's going on. we're just throwing everything at the wall, see what sticks. But what you can expect from my channel is I'm always going to try to look at things from different vantage points. I'm really not going to try to complain about things. I'm always going to try to find ways to go around things. You know what I'm saying? Like, I hear a lot of complaining in the community. A lot of times we read the comments all the time. We see the exclamation points. We see all these things, right? And I can't help but feel like if somebody came to me all the time and they told me, yo, my girl this, my girl that, and they keep complaining about the girl, you know, eventually I'm gonna tell them, why don't you break up with her though? You know what I'm saying? Why are you still with her? You know what I mean? Why are you stuck? Because every time I hear you talking about it, you're always crying about something. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people who collect that, I feel like they're like that. You know what I mean? They look for the negative. Yeah. Look, I just told you I just passed out. I missed out on Sidelock. Am I gonna quit collecting? Am I gonna throw everything in the garbage? Nah, not really. I'm just gonna be the first one up, August 3rd. Believe that. That's what happened on Warbird. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I got Warbird at 2:30 in the morning. You know what I mean? I missed out on the pre-orders, but I did catch it at 2:30 in the morning. It's only gonna make me go harder. You know what I mean? And I think that we all go through ups and downs, peaks and valleys with collecting. And I just try to highlight that because I think a lot of us may not realize that. We think that we're in it alone. This collecting is very niche as it is. It's very what do you call it? It's very what's the internal. It's very I'm stuck personal.
Personal. Yeah.
When you're not outgoing, when you
introverted.
Introvert. It's a very introverted. Thank you. I had it right there. It's a very introverted hobby, right? But we all have this tendency to reach out through our introvertedness through other means, whether it be shows, whether it be conventions, whether it be online, whether it be on the internet or whatever. Our introvertedness seems to escape that when it comes to this. You know what I mean? And I just really try to highlight those things. I feel like a lot of us may think about those things and then we don't talk about them. We just be like, oh, but look at my Spider-Man. That's what's up. I appreciate you, Spider-Man. But why do you have 35? That's what I really want to get. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't have 35 other things. You don't have 35 copies of some certain other things. So I think, it's important to tap into that. Like, why are we doing this? For the ones that it counts for. It doesn't count for everybody. There's people buying 10 Galactuses because they think that we all want Galactuses. And they're happy having them behind them, knowing that we can't get them. But they didn't even want that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think that as long as we're true to it, that, we're spending money out here. We're spending some serious money out here, People think that Marvel Legends or DC Multiverse, they're not hot toys, or they're not sideshows, or they're not statues. Man, look, you guys are getting statues once every how often? You're not buying 10 a week, man. You're not doing weekly pickups on hot toys. You know what I mean? That's not happening. There's something you're saving up for. So for every one hot toy you get, we're getting how many Legends, how many DC Multiverses, how many, orders are we getting in before that one hot toy pops up, and I have them too. I have them up there. You can see them. It's just not, don't minimize it, because if you want anything, these are not $25 figures. These are tapping into our pockets, our emotions, our nostalgia, our livelihood, our memories, our friendships. And I just try to highlight that. So that's what you can really get from my channel, to be honest with you. Me trying to find those things. Do I do reviews and stuff like that? I have done things, but my heart's not really in that, to be honest with you. There's only so many times I could pick up an arm and say it goes this far back, or it's double jump.
I get it, yeah.
Or certain people have that on lock, and there was a time where I had some injuries, man. I broke my leg, and I was out for 3 months, and there was a time I couldn't get in front of the camera, and there was a stretch where I did a stretch of reviews, and that made me hate it. That made me be like, I don't want to do this no more.
When you started the channel, because I'm curious myself, having a channel as well, the review thing seems to be the natural, I guess, way to get into it, right? You're all right, I got these figures. I want to talk about figures on YouTube. I want to do something. The review is kind of just the, I guess, intro into that, right? And then as you're doing it, you kind of find yourself I really don't, like you just said, I can only twist an arm so many times and talk about that so many times. You kind of lose the, I don't want to say the passion for it, but maybe a little bit of the drive, because you want to do something more meaningful, like you've been doing on your channel, right? I find that's kind of where I am at this moment as well. I've been doing this channel for a few years, and I do the reviews, but it used to be the moment the figure dropped on my doorstep, I'm like, shit, I got to get downstairs. I got to record this. I got to upload this ASAP. I want to be the first one out there with the video. And then 100 views hit that video, right? And then somebody like Shartimus uploads the video a month later for the same figure and gets 25,000 views on the thing, right? I'm like, shit, man, I had this a month ago, and if you wanted to see anything about it, you know, then I guess you have to at some point realize like it's not about that, right? Like it's about the audience that's already built in for some of it. But I don't know, is that like kind of?
Well, did you want to say something? I don't want to.
Well, well, from somebody who does not have their own active channel that posts anything, but from an outsider looking in who watches all these reviews and these channels, it seems like there's two types of people on YouTube. That there's the ones that really are on just to hear themselves talk, and then there's the others who are out to find their community and their tribe. Yes. And I think that the reviews are the easy gateway to like launch a channel as you search for your community and tribe that embraces you and like interacts with you on a regular. And then like once you've found that and you have that, I could see the love for the review falling away, because that was really your own, like your entrance line. That was your way to try to connect, and you've connected. So like, then it's more about the interaction that you want to have with those people in the chats and the live stream, in all of your like one-on-one communication with people, because you're doing a Thursday stream, you're doing this one, like you clearly enjoy the back and forth more than just, you know, fondling an action figure on camera. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, there's something to say about it having legs, right? Like a review video is going to turn to a dead video. We're like, in how long? You know what I'm saying? Nobody's checking for your 95 Mayfax or whatever, like whatever. I'm just making stuff up. Nobody's checking for that tomorrow. Like once tomorrow hits, it's good for the moment. You know what I mean? So it's like instant gratification. So if you want something to have legs and you want somebody, nobody's talking about the reviewer. You know, there's something to be said about our niche, right? So our niche, we have to be very careful about it. Our niche is the only niche that everybody feels they can do it. Let's just be real. You know what I'm saying? If everybody has an iPhone, right? I got 3 iPhones right here. Just because you buy an iPhone, you don't feel like you could be Marquise Brownlee. You don't feel like, oh, I can start talking about iPhones, because you don't feel like you don't know about enough about that. You know you don't got that. But if we got somebody in their mom's basement, well, you know, like, oh, I got a camera, I could do this, and it's all crooked and stuff, and what happens is it gets saturated. So now everybody's doing it. You know what I mean? So now we're competing with 7-year-olds, 10-year-olds, 15-year-olds, 20-year-olds, 50-year-olds. You know, it's everybody feels like, so how am I going to separate myself? If everybody has a Spider-Man, they're checking for the Spider-Man, right? That's one thing. So, you know, what's going to give you legs? You know, what's going to separate your channel from somebody else? If like he said, you go back to Shartimus, Shartimus is has 648,000 subscribers.
I mean, exactly.
Like, not to be clear, you got to look at those things. A lot of those could be dead subs, because
it's been around for a long time.
Getting like 10% of those subs. So everything he's putting up should be like 60, 90, 100,000 a pop, maybe 80, definitely at 10, 20. Those are not 648,000, but he's been in for so long that maybe people stop collecting, people haven't chimed out or whatever, you know. So it's hard to say what's going on with Shartimus right there as far as those numbers. But as soon as he drops, he already has the reputation. There's something to be said about being Jordan. You're the first one. LeBron's nice, but he's never going to be Jordan. It is what it is. There's something to be said about being in the game first. So he kind of has that established, you know. But then I look at his videos, right? So let's talk about it. Look at his videos, and he'll even say, like, you seen the videos when he talked to me? He's like, I'm embarrassed about this. He was like, look at all the stuff on the floor, man. You guys. I look around his garage. I look at his room. I look at his other room, and I kind of feel like overwhelmed. Like, I don't want to dust that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not interested in moving any of that stuff. You know, it's a little too much. So that's what I mean. It's the difference between doing what you like and having just enough to make it float your boat. But he said it himself. He feels like he's in a hamster wheel. He said, I got to pump these things out. I'm the only one making money here. I'm taking care of the kids. Man, he said this himself, right? I've watched the video.
No, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
So do I want to get stuck in a hamster wheel? Because we like doing this now, right? We go, we leave work to come home and do this because we want to do this. But the minute that we don't want to do this no more, what's in it for us? You know what I mean? Why are we going to come home and buy that new Spider-Man if we don't want to do it ourselves? So when I did those reviews for a stack, I was like, well, I don't want to do this moving forward. You know, this is not something I want to do all the time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, well, what's gonna separate it? So I said, let me just talk about things that I want to talk about. See, you just asked me questions. I start talking about things like this naturally. It could be about anything, you know what I mean? And I start looking at things and I'm like, well, a lot of things I keep in my head too. A lot of things I keep in my head. I got nobody to talk to about it because people don't relate to it. They don't understand what I'm talking about. They don't understand the hobby or whatever the case is. They probably look down or they have their own thoughts, whatever the case is. So this is all in my head. A lot of these conversations I have with my brother, you know. So I find the community like this and I get to say things and I'm like, I wonder if people feel the way I feel, or they're gonna just, you know, be like, nah, you bugging out. And come to find out, I got 118 videos in, and I could count on my hands how many comments. I'm like, whatever, you know, on one hand. A lot of people are really resonating with it, and I feel like that's because people feel that, but they also don't want to say it. Why not? Why not?
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
I think that's a good point with the basketball analogy, because playing basketball for LeBron and for Jordan is like the work of it. Like reviewing the action figures is the basketball. Like you get in the game, you got to play the basketball, you got to review the figures, but it's about how you play the basketball or how you review the figures, or like what you add to the review of the figure. So some people go back to your channel because, not you specifically, but like some people go back to a channel because they like the background information that the reviewer gives, or they like the in-depth amount of time that they give to a certain aspect of figure reviews. Just like Jordan gave a certain amount of time to certain aspects of basketball, and then same thing with LeBron, whether it was like scoring or dunking or just like, you know, breaking ankles or whatever. It was the style of the basketball. And so you're really looking for your style of figure reviewing, or your style of figure collecting, I guess you could say. And that's the trick, is like, it's not a trick, but like that's the goal for a lot of channels, is to find your style and then the people that like your style, so that you don't have to just grind out these like reviews every like week, because the only thing you're there for is the reviews and the views from the reviews. Like you're looking for a style and like a group to talk about it with.
And yeah, definitely, and 100%. You know, and I think there's something to be said too about. All right, so Travis, maybe open up a little bit too, right? So I go to a lot of creators' channels, right? Because before I started doing it, I was looking around. I felt like, is there room for me, right? And I knew the angle I wanted to come in. My very first video was 5 things I wish I knew about collecting. So it wasn't a review. I knew that I wanted to do that, but my first 4 was totally different. I did one video of each type, threw something at the wall to see, you know, what could happen. You know, so there's something to be said about. Tariffs just came out. I go to certain people's pages, 1,000 videos. I see 1,000 figure reviews. But what happens if you can't put this in your hand? What happens if 300% tariff said, now you're never going to get a Spider-Man in your hand? What happens to your channel if you don't get a product? You know what I mean? Yeah. So I look at a video like I did 5 reasons why I can't support Maximum Hulk. And I've gotten more views on that on my video than somebody who actually has Maximum Hulk in his hand. I'm just talking about it. You actually have it. And that's what I'm trying to get to. I'm trying to get to the point that you want to try to build up something where it's like, well, nah, I want to see what homie says about this, or what about this, or, you know, what does this guy have to say about it? You know, when people buy phones and they go to Marquise Brown, I want to see what he says about it. He could stop a car company. He bankrupted a car company with one review, because it means that much, because people listen to it that much, you know, and they believe in that much, you know. But the whole point is like, I don't want to be held hostage to a product, you know, when it's really the hobby that I want to get into.
Well, I have a question. I have a question for you, Cleva. So a lot of your content is about the way to approach collecting successfully or sustainably. A lot of your message is, don't go out and just go down an aisle and grab everything from a cart and then say like, now I collect all of this. Or don't go out and just get things because it's like a hot item and people are jealous that you have it. Like, get things that you actually enjoy collecting, or that you have an end goal towards. So have you had a lot of feedback in your content of people saying like, thank you for these tips? Like, I was on the route of just getting things. I was getting the Yeezys of figures, even though they were all McFarlane's probably. But like, do people say like, thank you for this information, it's changed my outlook on collecting? Or do you feel like you're still fighting like a good fight that people aren't listening to yet?
Not at all. I'm gonna be honest with you. I have told I'm telling you, I was surprised when I was surprised. I expected way more kickback. What I get is a lot of people who have my demographics, my analytics tell me that they're my age, a little bit before me, like 25, 30, but really my age and going up. So when I look at my analytics, I'm like, who am I talking to? I'm not talking to an 18, 19-year-old, right? So I already know that. I know I have 100% male rate, right? So when I say something about a woman's nails or her purse and stuff like that, I know I'm not going to get no kickback because there's 100% of us in here. There's no female. They're all going to be like facts, right? So I kind of like know, like my last one that I did, I knew I was speaking to OG collectors. I knew that I said, this has to resonate with them. But it's only going to resonate with them if it resonated with me. That happened to me. I made those mistakes. I picked up a bunch of stuff when I first started out. I came home with garbage bags from Comic-Con. I couldn't even help like carry it. And I was like, what am I doing? Because I like this, I like that. We like everything when it first starts. It's like an everything bagel. It's like we need everything. So if we don't know what it is that we're doing, we'll be all over the place. I made that mistake. This is where I see people say, instead of saying I made that mistake or what am I doing? Or am I doing this for me? Or am I doing it because Billy likes it? Why are you going to quit and just throw everything on Facebook Marketplace? I'm out of here, man. I quit collecting. And you see, the collecting is only like 15 figures.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you quit collecting? You haven't even started, my brother.
You haven't even started.
And
yeah.
you quitting already? You wasn't ready for this because you had no idea what you was getting into, So I'm trying to help them with that so they could just realize that you guys made mistakes. I've made mistakes. Don't make those mistakes. Learn through me. That's what I'm trying to do. Learn through me. So the feedback to answer your question that I'm getting is from a lot of people who've already had those mistakes. And they're like, yo, facts. That's exactly what happened with me. So now I try to do it like this. Everything you're saying is golden. That's more the vibe of what I'm getting. I have had a couple of people say, nah, thank you for that. I'm going to keep that in mind. And, I want that to be the message. I feel like we're all going to have to crash and burn on our own. But, all I can say is I told you. I mean, don't quit out, don't quit. Because I feel like those people who want to quit, those are the ones that's buying all the Psylocks. You know what I'm saying? That's why I got no Psylock right now. Because they got 10 of them in their house.
They got 10 of them. Yep.
And
they're going to sit on it.
And they in it for the wrong reasons. You know what I'm saying? That's why sneaker resellers are going out of business. You know what I mean? Because it's not sustainable, Yeah. They take the joy out of it, man.
So, all right. So kind of like shifting gears a little bit. So I know like you're a big Flash fan, right?
Oh man, I love Flash, man. I'm a big Speed Force fan. Big reverse Flash earbud thorn guy.
What's is there a character or a figure? It doesn't even have to be Flash, but like is there something that you want, like you really want to be made that just doesn't exist or something, or even something that does exist that you've been hunting and like haven't been able to track down? Figure wise, yeah.
That has been made, or I just haven't come across it.
I guess either way, we can do both. If something that hasn't been made, I think that might be the.
I know one thing that hasn't made. I'm not sure right now to think on that. One thing that did pass me was Hasgap Galactus, man. I don't know if you guys can see. Like I had a big ass fasciotomy. I had a compartment syndrome. I was in the hospital. I had it for like 34 days. And when I came out, it was like 2 days left to pre-order Galactus, man. And that just went right by. Obviously, I wasn't thinking about that. So when I came home, and then by the time I was like thinking about it, it was like, oh, it closed, it cleared all the tears. I was like, what? I can't believe I missed out on it. That was one of my biggest regrets, you know what I mean? And I'm not a big aftermarket guy. I'm not going to do more than 50 or something like that. I'm not going to do it. I just let it pass me and see what's going on. That really passed me. And that is a big regret for me. It was Galactus because I'm not trying to drop what they want for it. What hasn't been done, man.
It'll come
you would
back.
ask me this.
I think that's the one. Oh, sorry.
If you would ask me this last month, you know what I'm saying? Because last month I felt like I was in the minority of people who was trying to start a Marvel vs. Street Fighter section. I've had this for a minute. I got everything going on, and now all of a sudden, Psylocke sold out.
Everybody's on,
Everybody was checking for that last week. You know what I'm saying? I had a very few handful of people that was like, nah, everybody, I know the dioramas are gonna come. Everybody wants a Marvel vs. Street Fighter section. So if you would ask me last month, I would have said I wanted that to happen. You know what I mean? I really wanted that to happen.
Well, okay, so I guess in that then, like continuing the Marvel versus Street Fighter, what do you want to see from that? I guess either from Jada or Hasbro, but like,
see from the Marvel side. Yo, remember I said this. I can't help but feel that they're gonna drop another Hulk that looks way better than, no disrespect, than Maximum Hulk. You know what I mean? But more with the comic-y feel for the Marvel vs. Capcom with the head sculpt that everybody wants. You know, 70% of that figure we already have, right? So it's just the chest and the 3 head sculpts that we're checking for. I think they're gonna change the head sculpt and put it on the Marvel vs. Capcom with that, because that green goes with the Marvel vs. Capcom.
Yeah, for sure.
That green is very, very. They probably change the tone because they don't want you to switch hands and stuff, but very slightly. I believe that's next. I believe that's next from the Marvel side.
They'd have to give him the Smart Hulk pants, right? Like a brown pant.
Hopefully, it would change
not
the pants
torn. You know.
You know what I mean? You know, I love, everybody loves the Hulk, but I think he's next. I can't not see him coming out, especially as like a Juggernaut, Shumagorath. Why not put the Hulk? I mean, you know the Hulk is on the fly. You know that.
Yeah.
I think he's next for Marvel vs. Capcom. If you ask me, and if you're from the Capcom side, or probably Strider is probably somebody I'll be checking for.
Yes,
that's one you got to get.
Strider, hell yeah, Jin, Strider.
I mean, I got the Marvel vs. Capcom 2 arcade game right here. I'm looking right at it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, this is my game. I used to cut school, my brother. I used to cut school with $1 in my pocket. This is a 50-cent game. I used to be there all day, go home with 50 cents in my pocket. At the end of the day, when my mother thought I was out of school, that's how I was to play this game all day, man. Like, that was my jam right there. Yo. I love that game.
Well, on X, Dan Yoon was asking what people would want for like a Wave 2 for Gamerverse. So I think that's something. I think they've gotten a big response to the Gamerverse reveal stream. So I think that they're looking at, 2027 probably for like a Wave 2. So
hold up. Let me ask you guys, is any of this happening without Jada Toys? Is any of this happening without Jada Toys? Let's put that out there.
That's such a,
I think that's what lit the fire.
Yeah, sure. I think I agree. I think they lit the fire.
They lit the fire and they're trying to catch on. I mean, down to the effects, down to the holding, down to how the effects get placed, everything. Yeah. This is screaming Jada Toys all day.
For sure. And like Ryan Ting collects the Jada Street Fighter. I mean, he posted today in his stories, like he picked up cases of these Jada Street Fighter figures. So like, like those guys are into it. They see what Jada's doing and they know they have to answer, right? Like Jada's putting out some really great quality stuff at a better price. And if Hasbro can capitalize on that, which they are, then absolutely, why not, right? So yeah, I mean, for sure, like without Jada doing the Street Fighter line, I think we get like trickles of the characters through, like we've gotten the Iron Man with the proton cannon, we got like the War Machine, we got like trickles of figures, and it would have continued to be that way, but with the like overwhelmingly positive response that the Jada Street Fighter figures have gotten, they know that they have to strike now,
Jada's my favorite line right now. 2024, Jada was my favorite line. I don't see what happens in 2025 from the quality of the
Storm fucked us. Like they were doing really cool figures, but they were out of scale. They were really slow to release. Like they knew that there was a market for fighting game characters and fighting game figures. But before that, and aside from SH Figuarts, we weren't getting anything. And then Jada was like, none of these domestic like producers are in the market for these gaming or these fighting game figures or any of these figures. And they really swooped in and they blew it out of the water. They lit a fire under Storm's ass. They got SH Figuarts to reignite their Street Fighter line, even though they're just reissuing the same sculpts with different paint. Like Jada, you're absolutely right. We wouldn't have any of this good shit unless Jada was like, hey, we should do some cool stuff. And from the front-facing like angle of Jada with like June, and I don't think we've even met any of their other designers. Like they're passionate about it. They're not like money guys where they're like tightening their tie every interview they have. He's like, yeah, you know, I was like really interested in these characters, and then we made them, and I was like, yes, that's exactly what we want. All of us want that. We just want you to make the characters, be interested in them, and like give us cool stuff. And I think it's working out for collectors the most of all.
All right, so let's take it a step further. So does Storm Collectibles had a Street Fighter line going for 80, 90, whatever we want to put out there, whatever you was getting it from. Does the Alpha line come out for $25 without Jada toys, pressing them, putting their foot on their neck?
No way. No.
Jada's trendsetting. I mean, you know, this Sagat and Blanca, $35. If Hasbro had those figures, how much they costing?
50.
These are repaints we get. And Venom, I mean, I love Venom, man. I love Venom. You know, I mean, a lot of these are just repaints. I already got that Venom, right? So
how much
I
was
feel
the
like
movie Electro was how much?
Oh man, I paid 32 for him with on discount, but it was 40. Yeah, it was crazy. That was crazy.
Right.
Got him right there. Yeah,
Blanca with electricity effects.
All new sculpt. Can't reuse it.
All new sculpt.
Can't reuse the sculpt.
Second head. You know,
35 bucks, right?
Come on.
So I feel like a lot of those Gameverse, and trust me, I'm all in on the Gameverse one. But a lot of those Gameverse should be like the Professor Zoom and the Thomas Wayne double pack, $40. Those are repaints, man. $40. Throw them in there. I mean, Venom, you know, I mean, maybe one or two, like not the Juggernaut and not Sumagura, right? But one Omega Red and War Machine should have been like $39.99. It's gonna be that's gonna be a hard sell. That's gonna be a hard sell. I said when those Wolverine 2-packs came out last year, I was like, that Psylocke one's hitting clearance. That Hulk one's hitting clearance. The only one people are checking for is Sabretooth, and it was because Sabretooth. And I knew it. Psylocke is on clearance right now. Like you can check for it. Heavy in stock, discount. Jada Toys is doing their thing right now. You know what I mean? From the quality of the toys to even the accessories, to like, because now they got bigger IPs biting their style. That's how I looking at it. Like they biting their style. You know, why would you go from $100 figure? I mean, I got some Stone collectible Mortal Kombat figures up there. I like them. Why would you drop? I'm sorry, I don't know if you hear that.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I live in the hood, guys.
Was that a Jixer?
It's police chasing somebody. I do not live in the suburbs, guys. My fault. That guy's right outside my window. But why are you gonna go from $80 figures, $100 figures? Like you're not gonna do that. Mayfakes ain't gonna start $25 line. Man, I'm gonna do that. So you know the pressure's on. Like, yo, why would I even buy this? You know what I mean? Sagat's coming out. I really want Sagat. Vega just got dropped. Vega just got dropped. Vega's looking dope.
If you think of the timeline too, like Street Fighter Jada started more than a year ago, right?
Yeah, because they only drop on like 3 waves.
They've done 2 San Diego exclusives at this point.
Yeah, so like they burst onto the scene with this line, and then Hasbro probably would have had to react very quickly to get this going, to have these samples to show now, right? So probably wave 1 woke Hasbro up and was like, oh shit, like let's jump on this and put out the Marvel side of Marvel versus Capcom.
I know Dan Hu always refutes, like, oh, I've got no problem with Jada. Oh, Lexi's full of shit. But the first year that Jada Toy Street Fighter came out and their wave 1 was on the market, and everyone in the group was like, oh, fucking Jada Ryu, top 3 of the year for sure. And Dan was like, oh, mate, they've only made like 3 figures. You can't even call them a company, blah, blah. And I was like, no, Dan. This is the future. You need to focus. And
they were also smart, and they showed off like the entire character selection at the first Comic-Con, telling you, no, we're going to do all of this, and this is what they're going to look like. So stay on.
And then they followed through.
Yeah.
And they actually followed through. That's the main point, is they actually delivered.
Facts. You guys saw that leak of the SDCC set with the flaming victim character, like
the Dowsum and the Bison, right?
Yeah.
And that's nothing. It's not just repaints, right? So do like a player 2, and it's a repaint, man. But it comes with like extra things and extra accessories and extra stuff. Not just a unmasked, and we're calling it a day. You know, so it's like that they put energy, they put time into this. Like there's something to be said about the guy in first place just jogging. Like, I'm just trying to maintain my lead. The guy that really feels like he's in a race is second place because he's trying to get to first place.
Yeah.
And I feel like Jada is like, you know, they like, hold up, I'm trying to get there, guys. I'm trying to get there. I'm trying to catch up. And Hasbro's jogging, they staying up because they got the lead, but Jada wants it. Let's see what happens.
Facts. I just need an electrified Blanca victim as well.
Yo, that'd be super dope. Like with the skull in the middle, like with the skull showing out in the middle, like a jelly body or whatever.
So good. Yeah. Can't wait. They have to do it.
Yeah. What do you collect, Cleva? I see Legends back there. I see Transformers. You talk about DC Multiverse. Are those your main three?
Those are my main three.
Like Jada, of course.
Yeah, Star Wars is a deadline to me. I mean, I will pick up some things here and there, but they got to be classics like Palpatine, Luke Skywalker. As far as the newer stuff, I'm off Star Wars.
You're talking about Black Series, the Hasbro Star Wars?
Yeah, Star Wars Black Series. To me, anyway, is pretty much dead. I mean, and I think that goes hand in hand with the material, because if the material is good, people want the figures. I haven't seen any good material in a long time. You know what I'm saying? So the figures kind of, go hand, with the exception of Mandalorian. I do like Mandalorian. Mandalorian, I'll give him that one. So we got like Star Wars. I do a turtle. You can't see the turtles from this side. TMNT Playmates. Those is the ones I grew up with. The 4-inch ones. I think I have the whole line except Rat King. Those are the ones I grew up with. Oh, let me. I just picked this up. Like I didn't even show you. I know this ain't nothing big, but my idea for this, first of all, this was from the TMNT, the playset, right? And I got this. I got this for $26 at Target.
Yeah.
So I was watching this for a while, right? So this is from the Mutant Mayhem. And I'm not really interested in Mutant Mayhem, but I was like, I'm gonna finesse this for my old school Playmates one. And for $26, I just couldn't let it. I couldn't let it go.
How's the size compared? Do you have the street scene from NECA? Is that bigger or smaller than that?
I haven't even opened this, and I don't have that. You know what I mean? I don't have the streets, but I think those figures are bigger, right? Because these are like 4-inch figures. These are the ones I grew up with when I was a kid. You know what I mean? Like they don't have like elbows and stuff like that. Nah, they don't have elbows.
Don't have elbows.
Nah, they stagnant. I mean, but those are those are the ones I like those more than the NECA ones because those are nostalgic for me. Those are the ones that when I was in school, my mom's put them all in a garbage bag. Took me to Lionel Kitty City when it was on clearance. Ooh. Put them in the garbage bag. Told me, "Oh, you want these?" I said, "Yeah." Well, at the end of the year, when I see your report card, and let me tell you, it was like halfway through the year, so I was like, "Yo," I kept thinking about them. I'm always gonna remember those. So Marvel Legends would be my bread and butter. DC Multiverse, do a Playmates. I do Transformers now. Black Series. Got a couple of side shows. Street Fighter Jada Toys. And that's pretty much it for right now, I think.
No weak shit.
As far as saying that I want to keep moving forward with it, because I grab random stuff all the time. That's just 1-offs or 2-offs. Like, oh, I like this, I like that. I put that there. I wouldn't like I have the boys, right? But the boys line is dead. Like I have 3 NECAs over there. I wouldn't say I'm collecting the boys, but I have them. And I have I kind of like Super 7s. I try to get into Super 7s, but I don't know.
How about any of the nacelle stuff? You seem like you're in about the same age group as like me, Dan, David, Kenny. Sorry, not David. He's super old.
Wow.
But like Biker Mice from Mars. Are you familiar with like that?
I do. I've seen Biker Mice from Mars. So the thing is, like Biker Mice from Mars is up there with me with G.I. Joes, right? So I can recognize them, but I didn't put too much time into them. So for G.I. Joes, they had like there you go. They had like they had a special that would play once a year. I forgot what it was, Labor Day, something like that. That would play like it was like a movie, the G.I. Joe movie. I remember watching that, but I would never watch it consistently enough that I can name more than like 5 people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's the same thing. It's the same thing with that right there. It's like I never really gravitated towards it. Like I know of them. I know they have the bikes. You throw the bad guys in there, I don't know who they are. I don't know who those guys are, man.
Yeah.
So it's hard for me. But I do appreciate them because I've been seeing them. They came out. They've been sitting in Walmart for like the past 4 or 5 months. The bikes just came out recently, and I knew the bikes were next.
Of course.
I like those. I do like those. I mean, from what I've seen from them, those in the collector section. So those are dope. I don't have them personally, but I'm not mad at them. You know, I think they're dope, and I just saw the releases for the bad guys for the wave 2, right? All the villains coming out. That looks better than wave 1.
I agree.
Right. That looks dope.
There's rumors that Nacelle as a company could chase the, similar nostalgic line through Captain Planet. Would that have any interest to you?
Yeah, I love Captain Planet. Yo, hey, Captain Planet's old school, man. Oh man, yo, it's funny you brought that up because I thought people forgot about that. That's old school. I would definitely collect Captain Planet, man. I can tell you right now. I would get all of them. Captain Planet, didn't have the bad Captain Planet, right? Then we get all the bad guys. Yep. And oh man,
I forgot about wasn't he Captain Pollution? Wasn't that the evil version, the bizarro version of him?
He had a broken, like dirty planet. Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to love Wheeler. I was with the fire when I was younger. It was like, Wheeler Fire.
I mean,
I would do Captain Planet, man. But it would have to be done right too.
Mm-hmm.
Of course.
You brought up Lionel Kitty City, so I feel like you might be the same age as me because I had forgotten about 43. Kitty City.
You're 43. Not polite to call people old, David.
Okay. Well, no, I'm 42. But
I'm 43. Yeah, the same right there.
So do you remember Bionic 6?
Bionic 6. I do remember I remember Bionic 6. Woo!
Mm-hmm.
But
it's a throwback. It's a way back, man.
It is. Bionic 6. I used to love Exo Squad. Like stuff like that back in the days. Exo Squad. I don't know if you remember Exo Squad.
I remember I didn't watch it, but I remember it. Yeah.
Backtracking a little bit. No, sorry, go. I was just gonna ask, what is the story? You're both in New York, right? So like, I don't know what that story is.
Well, Lionel Kitty City was like a Toys R Us. Lionel is the train company.
Okay, familiar. Yeah.
So they owned Kitty City, but that I think closed. God, it had
I was like
mid to late 80s.
Okay.
Maybe early 90s, very early 90s, maybe because I was like 9, 10, maybe. Yeah, it was like a Toys R Us, real big, 3 floors. You know, big kangaroo was the mascot, right? Something like that. Yeah. It was like back then we had Toys R Us, KB toy stores, Lionel, Kitty City. We had all of those, and they started like phasing out little by little.
Yeah. So sad.
But when they went out of business, everything was like half price, right? And my mother threw them more. And that's what I said. Back in the days, it wasn't a competition. Every character was on the wall.
Did you
make them throw them in the bag?
Did you guys have KB toys up there?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, that was probably everywhere, right? It was like Toys R Us shit.
They had those are the ones that was competing with each other.
Yeah.
The Toys R Us just outlasted all of them.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
They were the biggest ones. Those are the good old days when you could walk into a store, everything was there. There was no pre-order. It had to be in stock. Mommy wasn't waiting. Hurry up. She didn't want to buy it anyway. So it had to be there. You know, there was no
That was from one of the videos that I watched of yours recently. You were like, they knew if the mom didn't see it in stock in the store, they weren't going to buy it. So they had to be in stock. Otherwise, no one was buying that shit because no one was pre-ordering or ordering anything online.
She was hoping it wasn't there. Like I told you, let's go. It was buying that under duress. They just throw it in the bag and shit up. Hurry up, and you better be a good boy. You know, that's how we was getting those things back in the day. So for them to take it off and say, well, be up at 6 o'clock in the morning, you know what I mean? Like
the game has changed. Yeah.
Yeah, the game has changed. I'm still trying to catch on.
Okay. So, and how long have you been collecting, Cleva? Since
I want to say actively. See, the thing I want to say actively collecting because I think that when we start doing this, we don't know what we're doing. That's the difference between old school and new school. Yeah. New school doesn't have anything, right? They look at a stream like this. They look at our backgrounds and they'll say, "Oh, I want that. I want this. I want that. Tomorrow, I'm doing this. That's it. Yeah, my tax refund. I'm wilding out. I'm gonna be a collector tomorrow." And that's how it starts, right? Mm-hmm. But I think that from the older generation, we didn't have any of this. There was no show me what you got. If you wasn't in my building, you couldn't come to my house, you ain't know. And that's if I wanted to show you. So we did this because we wanted to. Like, and when I first started collecting, it really wasn't figures because I couldn't afford them. You know what I mean? It was really comic cards. That was my bread and butter. Marvel comic cards, X-Men cards, Marvel cards, and comic books. That was my thing because I would flip that card. And somebody else that have a Professor X, I'm like, he's like a level 6 on this, so he's level 5 on that. Like, how you know that? Like, I know everything, man. Because I couldn't afford it, but I would flip those cards religiously, man. The way people study for tests as a kid. You know what I mean? So by the time I saw these things, I'm like, yo, I know everything about this guy. You know what I mean? So I was collecting the history and the comics and the cards before the figures. I didn't realize I was collecting anything until like 2017 or something like that. That's when I was like, yo, I think this is what I'm doing. I think because now I'm gunning for these things. I'm coming home with garbage bags. I'm making the mistakes. I forgot why I was in this. Now I want to fill up the shelf as soon as possible. Where before I wasn't thinking about that. You know, I had 2 guys on the shelf. I didn't think it looked empty. That's what it was. Now I'm like, oh no, I gotta fill that up. Oh, it's not even. I got 2 good guys and 4 bad guys. They jumping them. That's not fair. I gotta figure this out. You know, we get this real nuance with this. You know, and it doesn't stop. Yeah. So I think what I noticed it around 2017, 2018. Okay. When I was like, I don't care what nobody says. I don't care what you. If you don't like the collecting, me collecting is not the problem. Me chilling with you is the problem. That's the problem. Bad energy. that was that energy.
JD Williams in the chat. I really started collecting in 2017 and it really took off in 2019. And I'm proud of what I've come a long way since then. Same JD Williams. I started seriously collecting in 2017. And this isn't even everything. I have stuff over here, but 10 years is a good amount of time to be collecting. We have our friend David Evan Smith with over 2,900 figures here. Cleva, would you say that you're close to that amount of figures in your collection, or
no way? I can tell you I'm under 1,000. So I can tell you straight up. So I have about 600 Marvel Legends. I'm talking on display. I don't know what I'm doing. I got bins. I got to see what's going on. I'm not gonna get rid of them though. You know what I'm saying? I have collection. Oh, but I forgot about that stuff. I got Walking Dead. I got stuff. I was looking in the room. I've stopped collecting certain things. I finished Walking Dead. I finished certain things and I put them there and I don't count them no more. I do not have 3,000 figures. No. I mean, they look very well put together.
Neither does David. So lame.
I'm getting.
Well, he's almost there. I mean, he's close. You round that off.
Come on,
closer to 3 than 2. You know. So wait. So 2017. What about you guys?
Yeah, I would say like seriously collecting probably like 2015, 2016. Because I've talked about this. We had an episode before. I spent some time in the Air Force, and like that 8 years took me away from it. You know, it was like I was on the move. I just didn't have the space to do it, or even the mindset at the time. Like I grew up collecting the stuff, and then I took a break for a long time, and then you know, about 2015 is when I was like, all right, you know what? I kind of want to start like building out some displays. For me, it was like really like McFarlane's movie Maniacs back in the day. I collected a lot of movie related stuff, right? Because that was something that resonated with me. I collected movies for a long time, and that was like where the action figure collecting as an adult started. So yeah, about 2015, 16.
Would we all agree that it didn't happen the day of like a race and it was a build up and we acknowledged it at that point? I'm just asking, was that the thing?
No, it was definitely like, oh, I've got this one piece, all right, and then like maybe a few weeks later you buy a second thing, and then you know maybe 2 months after that you buy a third. You know, yeah, it's like, all right, I got this one shelf that I'm gonna put stuff on, you know, and then like. Yeah.
Bunch of rookies. What the hell was going on in 2015, 2017 that everybody decides to start buying some stuff? Like I never stopped. Like I think back to like being the kid that my parents were walking me through. Like we would drive around on Saturdays, and my dad was a model train collector. So I watched him collect model trains as I was growing up. And so I think that probably was what got me into collecting the things that I enjoyed. So I would they would take me to a Kitty City or a Toys R Us or a KB if we were in a mall. And I would always find the KB on the map, and I would say, oh, we got to go to this end of the mall. And like they would buy me a figure, and it was the original X-Men 90s 5-inch Toy Biz line. And eventually I just collected all of them. Like I just wanted them to keep releasing more characters that I saw in the comic books, that I saw in the trading card sets and in the animated series. and it just kept going from there. And then that Toy Biz line evolved into Marvel Legends in 2002.
Yeah.
So I got on board with Marvel Legends in that first wave, but that was a 4-figure wave. Like, you don't know how deep they're going to go.
Right.
So as they kept releasing new waves, I kept staying on the train, and I was with it, and I'm still with it. So like, I've been like actively collecting with my own money since at least Marvel Legends in 2002. So
did you think that you were just a guy with a lot of toys, or do you think you was a guy that was collecting? When did that happen? Because it could be different. Somebody can say, I just got a lot of figures. Yeah, you collect. I'm not a collector.
I always viewed myself as collecting, because like,
All right.
even in the 5-inch Toy Biz days, I used to customize and paint them into my own characters that the Toy Biz never made, because I
Oh, so you
wanted
was kit
more.
bashing, and you was
Yeah,
doing things before that was even a thing.
yeah.
So
David
I was
actually
painting
invented kit bashing.
it's in his
characters.
blood. Yeah,
Doesn't
it's in his
know,
blood.
Yeah. So I mean, it's been. I still have a box in the top of my closet of like 5-inch Toy Biz figures that I painted as like Avengers characters, because they were big on the X-Men back in the day, but like Avengers was never a thing on TV. So like, Avengers never really had a lot of toy lines. So like, I used to just like, I was reading Avengers Operation Galactic Storm comic book, and I was like, I don't have this character as a toy. I don't have this one as a toy. I'm gonna pick this one and paint that, and so like, it was a thing for me since as far back as I can remember. Like,
All
I
right,
always
so
want the whole
as far back
set.
as I could remember, I always wanted to be a
Born
toy
into it.
collector. You're like the Goodfellas of toy collecting.
Yeah. Pack Photos in the chat actually has a really good point. What changed in 2017 to 2019? I think a lot has to do with the MCU. Infinity War and Endgame really brought new and old collectors back in the scene. And I think the gist of what you're saying is pretty accurate. Leading up to that point, there wasn't a lot of media that encouraged toy sales. I mean, of course, there's always been like media encouraging toy sales, but up to that point, we're looking at Infinity War about to come out, and Endgame, the end of not multiverse, the end of the Infinity Saga. And so that was going back to the roots of the original 80s properties of like only creating media to drive toy sales. And the people who were old enough to remember that early media were like, oh shit, the MCU is like making me want to buy toys of this stuff. And then even if the attitude for wanting to buy toys was reignited, it didn't necessarily have to be MCU. You were like, well, the MCU is out, but like, I kind of want the comic version of this figure. And then, they were capitalizing off of that. And I'm not complaining. Like, I love my collection, most of it. And I think a lot of people like got into it at that time as well. Like, yeah, maybe I should like buy a physical representation of this thing that I like, even if it's not like the movie or the show or, the media of it.
Can we add on that's a huge part of it, right? But can we add on that maybe, just maybe, it became cool enough that people started coming out the closet with it? Because a lot of people didn't want to admit they come out, close the door behind.
sure.
What's that behind? I don't want
That
to know
too.
about that. So now it's like, oh, you like Iron Man? Well, check this out. I've been had this whole war. All of a sudden now it's like, oh, I want to talk about it, because
that's a huge part of it, actually. Yeah, is that it was so mainstream. Like TV shows are TV shows, and they'll go on for a long time. Guiding Light or a lot of the soap operas, they've been going on forever. There's no action figures of Guiding Light or As the World Turns.
Where's my General Hospital action figures?
General Hospital. Like, these are franchises that have been going on for 20 years or more, but it hasn't been popular enough to spark like a more widespread effect. And the MCU was big enough because it was movies and it was so popular that people were like, I love Iron Man. And then, like you said, Cleva, people were like, I've been loving Iron Man, bro. Look at this stuff. And that, I feel like that did make a lot of people more comfortable with saying, like, I've always loved Guiding Light. I've always loved As the World Turns. Like,
I just never said nothing. Right.
Yeah.
Boy, I think it's a combination of all these things. I think it's a combination of people who never looked at things and now they're looking at it. People who've been looking at it and saying, well, I didn't want to tell you, but since now you're bringing it up, but now I want to get down with it. And then just part of, pop culture moving forward and picking up fans. and it was the perfect storm for it to happen. You know,
Yeah.
I think Cleva, you mentioned it in a recent video too. Moving forward to like COVID, you know, like so many people start, whether like reinvigorated them collecting or they're new collectors at that point, right? Like we all kind of bucked down at that point and needed something to do, and that brought a lot of collectors in as well. And now I think about it, fast forward to today, we have people come over and they come down into the room and they see all this and they're looking at it like, you know, I remember that. Oh, I had that as a kid. You know, so it kind of sparks a little joy in the moment for the people looking at the collection, right? Like, I think like we all have this going on in our space because it's something that like brings us joy, and you know, we it's just a place for us to go and get away from the world and like take a moment and just kind of live in your own environment, right? Like you can build out your area however you want to build it, but then when people come down into that space, I mean, that's your space, right? Like you don't know how people are going to react to that. And then
I know how they're going to react. They're going to say, wow.
Or what the fuck?
God.
Yeah. But like generally, I think it's positive. Like people come down and like I said, they're like, yeah, I remember that. I remember that, you know, and then it sparks a whole bunch of conversations about this and that and that and the other thing. And, you know, I think at the end of the day, that kind of gives you a little validation to what you're doing. Even if I don't think anybody's looking, not that you're looking for the validation, but like, you know, somebody
I think you're looking for the validation, Kenny.
I'm looking for the validation, but I don't think everybody's looking for the validation. No,
validation only counts when it comes from the right person. If your mother tells you you're the best basketball player ever, it's great. If Jordan tells you your cross is crazy, you're gonna start feeling some type of way running down the block. You heard that? You heard that? Jordan said. When your mom tell you it didn't hit like that, you know what I'm saying? So the validation, it should only be coming from people that's like that can validate things. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how it works with that. Well, I'm only gonna appreciate your opinion. But I'll tell you this much: I've had people that come to my house, right, guys, and I have friends, and I remember one of the expressions that always stuck with me is that I remember he looked around, and he was like, "Damn, yo, I remember when I used to live like this," and I'm like, "Live like what?" And he was like, "Free. I used to be free, man." And I was not expecting that. I was not expecting that. That's what he saw in my house. He saw freedom. Because he's not got the kids, soccer practice, and minivans, no more sports cars, no more this, no more that. And I feel trapped in it, whatever. And I come here and all I see is freedom. You can do whatever you want. And that's what I got from that. I mean, that's what he got from that. That's what he told me. I never forget that. I was like, wow. I mean, I never thought about it like that because I never felt like not free. But I guess, you know, that's one way to look at it because we have an escapism. We have somewhere we could chill. We have a timeout place. We have a place that's respected. A lot of people don't have that. You know what I mean? A lot of people don't, or their shared space is the living room.
Yeah,
which is everybody's space.
Talk about your shared space being the living room, David.
Yeah, so I have a 2-bedroom apartment with 1 roommate. I have the bigger bedroom. I'm in my bedroom right now, so this wall is Marvel.
David sleeps
Avengers.
in a DTOF case.
Yeah, I sleep next to a DTOF case, but and then my living room common space is the rest of my collection. So thankfully my roommate is very collecting oriented, but he doesn't have a collection like I do. And but there's like a whole Batman corner, there's an X-Men corner, there's an MCU wall, there's a Ninja Turtles Power Rangers wall, like there's a Savage Land multiverse with some Jurassic Park and X-Men figures all mixed in together. So like 85% of the apartment is my collection in this space, and I'm grateful for it. It feels like a sanctuary. But we actually have somebody staying with us for the month, and so they're on an air mattress in the living room in the middle of all of that collection. And he said, "Wow!" and "Oh my God!" when he came to crash. But it is freedom. It is the time away from the world where you don't have to worry about adulting necessarily. You have to still pay the rent so that you have a place to house the collection, of course. But you know, this is my time to rearrange the collection and add new things in. Is a really zen state that I can kind of reach, like where I can get lost for hours and just like recontextualize all the things that I'm getting. You know, I collect for context, and I collect for like building the team in the era where they all wore this costume at the same time, and this version of Wolverine belongs with this team, and this version of Spider-Man was in this era of villains, and you know, like I'm constantly building out new eras and teams and configurations of figures. But yeah, it just brings me some peace. You know, I'm a manager in retail, so I have to go to work every day. I manage a team of people and push for sales results and give them the tools to be the best salespeople they can be. And it's nice to just come home and not need to manage anything but some toys. You know, like it's nice to detach. You know, so yeah, it is freedom. It's the life we built for ourselves. You know.
And just to double back on what you was talking about, you know, you was bringing up adulting. You know, a lot of people try to throw things in our face, or they not really throw things in our face. It's more sarcasm, and it's more like talking under your breath or whatever stuff like that. That I catch on, but like what you said, you know, when it comes to adulting, you know, collecting is some of the most adult people that we know. We're budgeting a year in ahead. We're budgeting against different lines. We're budgeting where our money. We're not going in the red. We got people out there that's doing a whole bunch of. I'm not gonna bring up any other vices, but we could all name insert favorite vice here, and he takes something.
Cleva,
you
had a great video on that too. You made a lot of great points in that video. Like people are buying nails, purses, shoes, whatever. Like, you know, cigarettes, smoking, right? Like stuff that you're gonna throw away. You're not gonna see that in a year from now, but you got those figures on the shelf, right?
And what I asked them is, please keep that. Don't throw away your Uber Eats boxes. Save all your Domino's boxes. Save all your Newport boxes. Stack them up the way I stack up my Marvel
Uber
boxes.
Eats boxes example, that was so good.
Because at the end of the year, because people like to all right, when I was going to church hall body, right? Because I did rap music almost my whole life, right? I still do for fun. And it's like when I would go, they would say, oh, this is secular. This is secular music, right? If you guys know what that is, like not relating to God, right? So secular music. And they're saying, God gave you that voice, or God gave you those words, so you can rap for him, or you could do those things. And I'm like, that's not what it is, because if that was the case, I wouldn't want to do it. I can tell you right now. And they're saying it's secular, it's against God, blah, blah, blah. Then I look at them and say, but wait a minute. Didn't you just take your son to go see homie and he gunned down the whole mafia clique with a Uzi? And they go, oh no, but the kids know that that's not real. I said, no, but the kids don't know that's real, because what I just did, that's entertainment. And I told them that's not real. Then they'll go, nah, but it's too influential. They may catch on. I said, really, you're being a hypocrite. The only thing that I can see different is the fact that you like movies and you don't want that to get taken away from you. You don't like rap, so you could do without it. So people start being hypocritical based on their vices. You know what I mean? Oh, I like pork. Pork is great. Whatever. If I don't like pork, nobody should have pork. It depends on what you're feeling. Yeah. So that's the problem with a lot of people. So since they can't relate to it, they don't know what's going on with it. They don't see how they fit into it. They want to shun it. But then I just flip the question on it. Well, you've been collecting for how long? You've been collecting for how long? I've been collecting for how long? When you ask them, what have you been doing for the past 10 years besides collecting debt or getting in trouble? What have you been doing that you can show me? I've built this for 8 years. So if you're going to come at me and tell me something like that, you're going to have to show me a house paid off for 10 years or something like that for me to be like, oh, wow, you're really doing big things. Because if you're in the red eating Uber Eats, I'm watching people spend $60 on lunch. And you talking about my Captain America? You can't be serious, man. Stop it.
Facts.
Yeah.
Don't get ideas, Hasbro. We're not paying fucking $60 for Captain America. Okay.
Well, until maximum.
I agree. Until maximum
cap.
Maximum cap, right? I would love a maximum Daredevil. That's what I want to see. I would like somebody that doesn't get burned like that. I knew they're gonna go the maximum route with the regular suspects. Why not do like a maximum Daredevil? You know what I'm saying? Like something like that with crazy the Billy Clubs attached and unattached. You know what I'm saying? Why not put the mask, the unmasked, battle damage, just go all in. You know what I'm saying? Something like that. You know, don't give us the same guy that we've been getting forever.
What's your take on imports, Cleva? Like Mayfex, SH50
I like
Wards,
imports. I
Amazing
like
Yamaguchi.
imports. I like imports. I have some Storm collectibles. I see a lot of Mayfexes I like. The problem with me is that I like themes, right? So if I start going for a theme, like I know that Mayfex doesn't do universes, they do stories, right? So they'll be like, I got the Hush, or I got this, whatever. So I have to really like the story because I already know I'm doing the theme. So I'm trying to figure out how does this fit in.
That's fair.
The ones that I do, but I like them all. But I ask myself, where is this road taking me, right? Because I'll be like, well, how much is this one? Oh, that Magneto's on sale for $79. How much is Gambit, fam? This is, you know what I'm saying? Don't tell me the real stuff, because I'm gonna get there. I don't want to get there down the line and home's $200 and you can't find them. So before I start doing those things, I'm like, do I want to do all that? And that's really what it is. I have an instant gratification problem too. I hate to order, man. I would drive 2 hours to meet you today before you send it to me tomorrow. I would rather meet you today.
You do not like pre-ordering. You want to order and have it shipped.
No, I want to pull up and pick it
up.
You
don't even want it shipped. You want it in person.
I'd even like 2 windows at McDonald's. Why am I going over there? Let's do everything right here. What are we doing? You know what I'm saying? I gave you the money. Now I got to go over there. Like, what are we doing? You know, so that's the problem with me. Yeah. I love, like, when I flick back and I saw the Adam Warlock or whatever. Matter of fact, the flash times, I wasn't expecting. I was winging it, bang. I flicked one back. I was like, oh, stop playing. That feeling you're never gonna get from an Amazon. Mm-hmm. The For minute sure. that you get a ring notification, like, I know what that is. That's my this. Whatever. It hits. I mean, it hits. If I had Psylocke in the box, I'd be like, yeah, yo, I can't wait to get home. You know what I mean? But there's nothing like finding it in the wild, even though that's like a dead issue now. That's not what it was pre-COVID. Yeah. Finding in the wild was a thing. Post-COVID, it's kind of like a forgotten thing.
Well, the aisles are getting a lot fuller now. I found, like, the last 2 months, I feel like the toy aisles are very full with a lot of stuff.
It started picking up right as the tariffs started coming in. Yeah. So guess what? We're back to we're back to it. You know.
So did you guys touch on the because I came into the last stream late. I do every other weekend with my 5-year-old, and I kind of got on towards the end, and I kind of woke up from a nap. Did you guys touch on the Fantastic Four figures that were released prior to the Marvels? And what was your thoughts on that?
The Fantastic Four figures from
the white and blues that were released that were pre-ordered the day before.
Oh, the MCU ones.
Yeah.
We talked a little bit. Yeah.
What was the outcome on that?
I like them. I pre-ordered them. I feel like the movie is going to determine. I think the outcome that we all decided was like the movie will determine.
The movie's going to make it. Yeah.
People are going to want them. But you know, I tend to collect in context. I world build, so I have a whole MCU bookcase. I'm going to want Fantastic Four represented on there, whether the movie's great or not. But I think it's going to be good. I'm excited for the movie. What do you think about them?
I mean, I like the way the figure. I'm not going to pick them up, right? But I'm not. It's just like because I'm a Walgreens Fantastic Four thing, and I try to shy away from MCU figures as much as I can. I like comic-based figures, but I'm not mad at them. I think they're very clean cut. Mm-hmm. My favorite ones will be Invisible Woman. And of course, I think Johnny Storm, a Flame On version. The other version, the 2 versions, the Silver Surfer, I don't think that's going nowhere. And the Johnny Storm Unflame, I think that's going to be a peg warmer. But I think the other 4 are gonna go. I think it's clean. I like the baby blue on it. I think, but the one I like the least is probably the Pedro Pascal one. Like I just can't see him as Reed Richards. I don't know how you guys feel about that, but that's not my Reed Richards, man. Like I don't see a Marvel's first family. You know, brother, sister, husband, best friend. I don't see Pedro Pascal doing it, man.
I saw a quote from somebody, the casting director said that they cast him because they wanted a Reed that could contain multitudes. So and then like reflecting on that comment, I do think Pedro Pascal does a wide range of characters. So I'm excited to see a multifaceted, complex version of Reed, because I feel like the other movies didn't really dig that deep, you know. So if they're gonna go there and have these be really complex characters played by really capable actors, then I'm ready for it. Like I enjoyed Pedro Pascal and everything I've seen him do. Even some projects that I didn't like the project, like Wonder Woman 84. But
I forgot he was in that. Yeah, that's right.
yeah,
That's
right.
right. Yeah, that was.
Well, there's
yeah,
a lot to forget about that movie.
Yeah.
To be honest, but like I liked his performance in it, and everything I've seen him do. I think he brings a lot of great energy and soul to what he does. So who knows? Like, you know, you don't have high expectations for him in the role. You wouldn't have expected it.
Yeah.
But are you going to go see the movie?
So where I'm at with the MCU right now is I'm fire sticking everything until they show me and prove. I'm not gonna just be dumping my money. You know what I'm saying? I have to, like, Deadpool Wolverine was different, right? But like for the Thunderbolts, I wasn't wasting my time. I'm not to say it was whack, but I just feel like you're gonna have to show and prove something for me to start going back in there. I haven't been excited to go into a movie. Will I see that one? I don't know. If they would have just they had to mess with the Silver Surfer, I'm not sure. I want to see Norman Rad, man. Like that's who I'm checking for, and not in episode 2.
You know, Galactus is going to be in this, and you're the big hole in your collection is HasLab Galactus. So don't you want to see how they bring Galactus to the MCU live action?
They're going to give me 6 minutes of Galactus like Red Hulk, because
that's a good question.
I can't help but feel like everything we saw is in the last 30 seconds. You know, and then they're gonna be like, "Oh, see you in 2028." What? Like, I don't see Galactus popping out right now, like making it happen. You know, I don't know. If he did that would be a waste.
If I had to guess, I would think that they know how much they messed up with Galactus. I know it wasn't MCU, it was the Fox universe, but like horrible. I know they have to understand like how much that universe messed up with Galactus. Like they know they have to deliver this time around, right? Like Galactus has to be present throughout the movie. It might be a slow build up, like a little bit of a tease in the beginning, and then it kind of like eases its way in. I really hope it's not like 6 minutes of screen time. That would definitely be disappointing.
I get the impression he's going to have a presence throughout the movie.
Yeah,
but I don't know. Yeah,
we're gonna hear his name. We're gonna see a couple shadows. They're gonna say he's coming, stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And then by the time he comes, credits are rolling, and everybody's looking up like, "Oh man, see you in 2 years." You know, I can't help but feel like that's gonna be the case. If they bring him out and one and done him like Carnage, that's gonna be a waste. Like, why would you even do that? Like, and you see, the MCU is they're wasting so much time trying to front everything. They didn't tell us nothing about Thanos for like half a decade. You know, we got a glimpse of him at the end credit screen a few years in, but they didn't start Avengers 1. Thanos was coming, man. You got to be. It's like they led into that. Now it's like they're trying to get us like, no, we got to bait them guys now. You know, work up to it. It'll be okay. Work up to it. Put some work in there. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I do like the way he looks. He looks very comic accurate. Yeah. I don't know where that shot's coming from. How they're gonna make it work, but I do like the look. The look is what we expect.
I think they're definitely going to use him more screen time, like adjacent, because they have. It's not Garth Ennis. It's like Ralph Ineson is the actor who's playing him. But they did a whole suit for him. It wasn't just CGI. Like they fitted him with an entire suit, and they're doing a lot of scale photography and like videography for it. So I think he's going to have a pretty prominent. I follow all of the MCU developments and everything, so I don't want to be too spoilery in case there's people that aren't following anything. But there is a rumor of the plot where Galactus will be very interested in the pregnancy of Sue Storm, and he'll visit the planet multiple times, like waiting or looking for the baby of Sue, and it'll end up not happening on Earth. So I think he's going to be in there.
I can see that happening.
Yeah.
Only thing I feel like is that here we go again, front running Franklin Richards. Why are we even discussing them this early in the mix? We haven't even seen what's going on. You're already trying to name drop. Not you, but you really, you're trying to tease. And this is what happens. You start teasing people, and then we go in there expecting this great highlight, and we got a 6-minute fight, and we're like, okay, I'm off this. You know, what am I doing?
I also heard regarding the Silver Surfer thing is I heard that they're using the female Shalabal Silver Surfer now so that when they go into the main 616 for the MCU, they can change it to the regular male Silver Surfer, if that makes sense. Like the Silver Surfer in this movie will die or something.
Why not just go with the Nova? Why not just go with somebody who's already a herald? Why do the double dip and do? We're already tired of the character switching and the race switching and all that stuff. Just it's written in the book, copy and paste. It's very simple. It's already been done.
I think it's because people are just so...
you bring out Nova, right? It looks so.
Sorry,
I know we're getting like a little laggy.
Yeah, I think we overlap there. Yeah. I was just gonna say, I think it's because people, they're really trying to cater or like spoon feed the people that have never read a comic and they don't know anything about like Marvel or anything. So they're like, yeah, they would rather do 2 Silver Surfers than 2 different heralds that, you know, are for the same person but are 2 different characters, if that makes sense.
I mean, yeah. I mean, see what happens. I
agree, though. I'm with you. I would love to see a span of different characters. Like, I read the comics. I've seen all the movies. Like, I don't give a F about these people who don't know what they're getting into. Like, I want to see the full spread.
Right? Imagine you had a point of them where he has like a little bit of combination, 1, 2, 3, 4 of them. Who knows? You know what I mean? They rushing the earth or whatever. Maybe Silver Surfer Norman got to come. Like, hold up, man! I got to save you guys because you don't know what this guy's about, man. Like, or something, whatever the case is. You know what I'm saying? It's like they could.
Yeah.
Let's see what happens. But that figure is Peg Woman, my brother. Mm-hmm. That Silver Surfer pick is Peg Woman.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see it flying off.
Yeah.
I wish they did a Terrax in the MCU.
That's what I mean. This is exactly what I mean. Why not? Why not start off with him and lead up to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
A whole Children of Thanos, but they're Galactus heralds, right? So you got like Nova, Terrax, Silver Surfer,
more Cosmic Ghost Rider. You could, I mean, whatever you want to do. You could. There's so many people you could add to that app that people actually care about. Mm-hmm. That people actually care about, and then you always want to bring somebody back and say, "Ma, you don't remember back in '78 there was 2 issues?" Nah, man, stop that. Go back to the people that people care about. We don't care about those 2 issues, man.
So you don't want Dazzler to be one of the heralds of Galactus in the Fantastic Four movie? Is what I'm hearing. I'm joking. Nobody does. Nobody wants.
Only if Aunt May follows up.
Yeah. Oh, that yeah.
That's what I mean.
Honestly, if we could get the Kryptonian as the herald, that would be the one I'd want. So,
Superman is a movie that I'm interested in seeing what's going on with that. Probably more than Fantastic Four, to be honest with you. I like the trailer and even the dog. Like, I'm like, okay, what's up? I want to see what's going on with this. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, that crypto was cute, man. Like, especially when you grab him, he's like, oh, hey, I was like, yeah, I see what's going on.
Do it again. Yeah.
That's different. You know what I mean? I'm interested to see I'm not even with the comparisons because I feel like with the last one, I felt like he was just too stoic. I forgot his name right now. But he's just Henry Cavill.
Yeah.
It was just good for a picture, but he's like man stoic. I feel like the kids be like, dang, Superman. He's like, shut up. You know what I'm saying? Like, you look, I'm saying, like, yeah, that type of vibe. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't even want to come down here. Call me again. You know.
You're exactly right, man. That's how I feel about, like, Henry Cavill looks like Superman, but like he was wasted in that universe and those movies, and it just wasn't the vibe. And yeah,
you know, he has no personality to sell it. Like Superman, she's like, "Oh, hey kids, you know, get out the way, guys. You know, whatever." He's always grilling everybody. Like,
I don't even remember his Clark Kent. I don't even remember his like take on Clark Kent.
See, there you go. That tells you everything you need to know.
But he looked the part. He looked the part great, but you know, it is what it is. So I'm not mad at this one to see what he brings to the table. You know, I'm not mad at the suit. I'm not mad at anything. When it comes to DC, the fact that they still trying.
that says everything. Yeah.
That's fair.
You guys keep getting back up.
We'll see. We'll see what James Gunn does. You know, I have a lot of preconceived notions about James Gunn because of what I've seen him do for Marvel. So like, and for Suicide Squad and all of his recent stuff. So like
Peacemaker,
yeah. I just don't know what tone he's gonna want to strike with this. So, I mean, I'm not the biggest Superman fan in general. Sorry, Kenny, about that. But so I'm not protective of like how Superman's gonna be portrayed. But I just want them to tell a good story that makes me care. So
for me,
if
yeah.
he's gonna do that, you know.
For me, it just comes down to some basic principles, right? Like Superman, he is the Boy Scout, right? It's truth, justice, and the American way, right? I mean, but like that stuff is it. I get it. It's corny. It's old. It's outdated. It's whatever. But like, it's the idea, like the dichotomy between Clark Kent and Superman, right? You have to nail Clark Kent. If you don't nail Clark Kent, then Superman is nothing. Okay, like anybody could be a hyper powered being with a lot of powers and they could use it however they want to, but the nuance in nailing Clark Kent I think is very important because that tells you the human side of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was going to say that's the humanity that keeps him from being out of control god from space. Is the humanity of Clark Kent and how his parents Martha and Jonathan raised him, you know, to know what's right and what's wrong, and like to treat Earth like it's his home, and he cares as much about that as, you know, as and the people of this planet as whatever he learns about from Krypton, you know. So yeah, it's Clark Kent's critical to the success. Yeah. So we'll
Superman
see.
and Captain America are very similar. The thing is with Superman is that DC got all their eggs in one basket. They got the trilogy. You know what I'm saying? Like they can't sell off 7 characters and still put like, you know what I mean? Like they sell off 7 characters, they bankrupt. So they have Batman. They very protective of Batman. Superman. I don't want to talk too much because Superman fans are very, very, very protective. But they love their Superman. But you know, Superman gets to the point where it's like, what are we talking about? Right? It's like, oh, he punched through the fabric of space and time. Like, what are we talking about? What do you mean he punched through the fabric of space and time? What are we talking about? Like, you know what I'm saying? That's up there with Sentry, 1 million exploding suns. What does that mean? What does that mean? 1 million? What is one
It
exploding
means a lot.
sun?
It means a lot.
How do we
I imagine that one exploding sun is crazy.
Exploding sun? Yeah, exactly.
1 million.
You know what I'm saying?
That's intriguing. I want to know. Yeah.
So when you say that, it was like, oh, how do I beat that? You know what I mean? Like,
if you bench 225, how many exploding suns is that? 0.25 exploding suns? I don't know.
Not enough.
It starts getting crazy after a while. But you do got a nail Clark. They were saying we got a nail Peter. That's why a lot of the Peters, you got a nail Peter, you got a nail Clark.
Right. Yes.
So what figures in your collection, Cleva, do you have to represent Clark or Superman? Do you have a lot of them or just one? Did McFarlane do a Clark?
Oh, Kent? Superman. I only got one Superman.
No.
I got Superman, but he's up there flying. Clark? Nah, I don't got no Clark. I got one figure you guys don't got.
Muff Toys is the best Clark Kent that you can get.
You guys do not have the Cleva figure. How about them apples?
Oh,
because
let's see this. I gotta pull this up on the big screen.
What's the recipe here? Oh, is a fully 3D printed?
Yeah, my girl got this for me.
Nice.
So that's something different.
Did you get the miniature museum in New York City?
It's 101. 101.
Wow, I didn't hear that. What happened?
There's a miniature museum in New York City in Times Square where you can go and get scanned, and they make a 3D printed figure of you like that.
What? Really?
Yeah.
Nah, she just scared me because it was a total surprise. I didn't even know that was coming, man. Shit. I was like, what is this? I even looked at it and I was like, wait a minute. You know, this is me? And she was like, yeah. I was like, get out of here. She did it from a picture. They did it from a picture.
Nice. Okay.
But I don't have any Clark Kents, man. Nah, I don't even think I've ever seen a Clark Kent figure.
There's not many, right? Like nobody is gonna say, "Oh, I really want to collect a Clark Kent figure," you know. Like,
that'll be dope. No, that'll be dope. If you make the Clark Kent figure, you got to do coming out so you can have him coming out. You know,
there's
what I'm saying?
This
home booth transition. Oh, what's this?
There you go. So this is the Muff Toys one. This one's really good. There was also like one from
that is dope.
I think years ago.
Goods trench coat, and that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
This is a third party, and they marketed it as Protector of Metropolis, but everyone just called him Clark Kent. I'm trying to undo his trench coat thing here. He comes with a full suit.
That is dope. That's what I'm talking about. That is dope right there.
Suits wired, and then
that's a press tag. That's a press tag.
Yeah, it is.
Yo, that and it got detail on it. It just doesn't say
it even says Daily Planet on it.
That is detailed.
That is dope. I've never. All right, you got me under pressure here, because
come on, get it together.
Is the super suit underneath?
It is, yeah, but I don't want to like pull it open so that I can't undo
They don't have a Velcro strip so you could just rip it open.
Yeah, so you can see.
That's what I was just referring to. Get out of here. They already got that.
Yeah.
Nah, that's dope.
So he's got the abs and he's got the super suit under it.
So I mean, it's a good figure.
Again, Muff Toys.
Got a belt and everything.
Yeah, Protector of Metropolis, fully articulated.
I was just about to ask you that, yo.
Yeah. Got the socks,
slacks,
got the dress shoes. Yeah. But to be fair, this is only a Clark Kent. Like, he has the super suit under, but he will not change out of his like dress pants and stuff.
Nah, you don't want that. You want just enough. That was it. The Superman's for that.
Yeah.
Nah, that is dope, my I would have that for mine.
You're right, though. They don't make any other Clark Kent figures, which is why I got this.
And after that, I wouldn't want any other one either. That's the one.
Well,
Judge Dreds, dive into Muff Toys. Judge Dreds, dive into Muff.
We talked about on a prior stream. If McFarlane did a Clark Kent, he needs like a bendy wire shirt that you can hold open to show.
You gotta have that
underneath. Yeah. Maybe a bendy wire tie to kind of get it up out of the way. But that's all you need. You don't need a fully transformable Clark to Superman, you know?
So damn, you just brung up that. How you guys feel about DC going on Mattel?
I think we're all happy about that. I don't know.
Yeah?
Dave, well, actually, I don't. David, are you happy about that?
I'm gonna wait and see. Like I used to collect the DC First Classics line, so I was a client of Mattel, but I don't feel like they hold up that well now. Like their articulation, the plastics are all discolored and whatever. So like it took me a long time to warm up to McFarlane. Different scale, 7-inch versus 6-inch, like, all of that stuff. But like, I've really come around. If you go back to like our first show, we don't collect McFarlane, but like I've really come around to McFarlane, and there's a lot of stuff that he does really well. He's done a lot of good movie lines. He's done Batman 66, which is a thing close to my heart. So like I'm cautiously optimistic about what Mattel would do now in 2026 with toys for DC, but I really warmed up to what McFarlane was doing. So it's going to be bittersweet. Sad to see it go.
It's funny you said that, because I had a very similar experience. Because so first of all, when I first started, I started with DC before I even jumped into Marvel, because I didn't know, and I was just getting Flash stuff, and I kind of gravitated towards the Flash and stuff like that. Then I started getting DC figures from Mattel. I started getting the Batmans and stuff like that. They even did DC icons even before that. The DC collectibles even before Multiverse. Then there was another Multiverse before McFarlane had it, right? It was the red box, right? Then it went to McFarlane. Then it was the blue box. I forgot, that was Mattel. Then it went to McFarlane, right? Then it's coming back, right? So it's been around for a little bit. When I first had those Mattels, I was upset at the scale change, because I'm like, okay, now everything I have is irrelevant, right? So now I got to start over. So that pissed me off. I did the video about why I don't like DC Multiverse. I don't know if you guys caught that. And I was bringing up a lot of the points that why I shied away from it. And I thought I was going to get a lot of kickback for that. I was like, man, they're going to come for me. But I was like, whatever, this is the real. This is like why I shy away from it, because I felt like he was trying to dictate my collecting habits. Like, nah, from now on, everything you have don't count. You got to go with this. And I'm like, who is you to dictate that? You know what I mean? Right. I felt some type of way. But when I dropped that video, I started getting a lot of comments about like, yo, Cleva, yo, give him a chance, and bendy wires and capes, and he's listening to us or whatever. So then I started getting on board, and I started buying like DC Multiverse figures, and ain't lose the license like a few months later. So I'm like, damn, man, like I even did that.
That's how they get you.
I do like a lot of his figures. I do like a lot of his newer figures. The bendy wires, the sculpting is great. The older figures, his articulation was the worst. His scaling was the worst. They were like statues that could basically move their head, something like that, like the Agatha Harkness figure, like it's basically a statue for Marvel. A lot of his figures are like that, you know what I mean? With like I have a Shao Kahn up there and stuff like that. Shao Kahn, I'm really not moving like that. He might taking a step here or like this, but he's not doing nothing crazy dynamic. That was early McFarlane. He started to change that, but then he lost the license.
Right. Are you into the movie figures from McFarlane, like the Tim Burton and Joel Schumacher Batman movies?
Not from McFarlane, no, because not to say I disliked McFarlane when he took over DC. I feel like he changed things, and I'm salty. And I was like, whatever. By the time I got back into him, I probably would have went around full circle and started seeing everything. But then once I hit there's a hole in the ship, I'm off that. I'm like, why am I going to stay on the ship for and go down with the ship? Why am I? His last year. Why would I get the last year? This is all going to be gone anyway in my brain. So I'm like, let me just hold back. Transformers ain't going nowhere. And I had just started my Transformers wave anyway. I was like, yo, man. The one that did it for me was the movie Soundwave. I found that in my hand. I wasn't even looking for it. I just saw it and I was just like, yo, I'm getting this figure. And I knew that was the first potato chip. I knew it. This is the first potato chip out of a party size bag. I already know. I knew it. But you guys do Transformers?
And I don't. I love Transformers. Used to have them as a kid, but I can't keep up with the scale of that and the expense of that. Like I couldn't dive back into it at this point in my life. I spend too much on this.
No, but you got something else going. 2,920, man. That's a lot. So what's the goal?
I mean,
25,000.
Double that,
goal, David.
Then he said he's done.
25,000.
I'm joking.
As I've tracked it,
nah, hey, man.
As I've tracked it, it's been about goes up 100 figures every 3 to 4 months. Like the count grows. So maybe that's 25 action figures a month then that I'm buying. Right. 25 to 30 action figures a month. So, I mean, it's the goal is there. I mean, there's no end sight. Like I'm not gonna stop collecting.
It's like when you get a fish and you put it in the fish tank and it can grow up to the size of the tank. His collection will grow up to the size of the space, and then he'll move to a new place, and then it'll keep going. Right.
Yeah, there's no end.
You don't want it to get overwhelming. This space is key. Space is key. You don't want to be tripping over stuff. Yo, that figure is crazy, man. Yo, I really like that. Wait, that's a different one.
No, same figure.
Outfit? Oh, you just took off the coat. You took off the.
Yeah. I took off his
his
raincoat. Yeah.
Now that is dope, man. That is dope. That's the type of stuff you want to put in your detail in the front and the top with the light hitting it. That's exactly what you're looking for right there.
I think Cleva's going to be
a conversation piece.
Google searching that Muff Toys Clark Kent.
Just Google
the link. I'll send
even
you
the shoes. Link. Even the shoes. It's like little patent leather shoes. Stop playing. Those are tough.
Yeah.
Like those are the shoes that we wear. It's not like some generic shoe.
They did such a great job, and they also sell like an alternate suit. So if you want them in a black suit, you can buy a black suit for them.
Wow.
Yeah. So what are the Muff Toys? What are Muff Toys going for?
They're like 60 to 70. These are third party, so you don't have to pay. Yeah, you don't have to pay for the license of DC Comics, or they're not paying for the license of DC Comics. So I got this one off of 5K Toys. Do you do like unlicensed figures at all, or like third party knockoffs? I
mean, I would. I have nothing against them. Like something like that, I wouldn't be like, oh, this is not licensed. I've never said that in my life. Like, I don't care. If it's official, I see it.
There's a misconception between unlicensed and knockoff. Like third party is unlicensed, but it's an original design. So like no one has ever designed a figure like this before, but they're also not paying for the DC Comics license to produce a Clark Kent. Whereas some like CT Toys will take a figure that already exists. They'll completely rip off the design and also not pay for the license. So they don't have an original design. They're not paying for the license. That's a complete knockoff. But this is, they designed this themselves and they didn't pay for the license. So this is a third party.
But you
which
can
is
tell
a
by
little
looking
bit.
at that. You can tell by looking at that there's quality in it, and especially when it comes down to the details. Oh, look at that.
So
are you here?
You're back?
I think I'm here.
Wow.
After 2 power outages and like a 4-hour internet outage, I am back.
We were just wrapping up, Justin, so I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Thanks for stopping by.
Yeah.
Good night,
We're
everybody.
about to head out, so
I gotta say, and I think it's mainly your fault, David. I feel like you just need to start the show all over. I mean, just God, it was, from the little bit I saw, it was just awful. You know, David, I blame you.
Sure. Okay.
I'm joking, of course. I'm joking. I was sitting here trying to watch the stream, and like even my phone's like constantly buffering, so I'm like 6 minutes behind. I just constantly went to just calling David old because I felt like no matter how far behind I was, like that would be relevant
They would be
to wherever
relevant.
you guys were. So, but Cleva, what's going on, man?
What's going on, Justin, man? What's going on, my brother? I thought I wasn't going to see you today for some reason, man. I was like, man, the day that I pull up, he's not going to be on? That's crazy,
Right?
man.
Yeah.
It's a bait and switch, honestly. He's like, hey, man, you want to come on my channel? Just kidding. I'm not going to be there. You have to deal with these guys. So yeah.
Exactly.
And now he just made the big entrance. The big entrance.
Yeah.
Right.
That's
All right,
what it
Justin,
was.
show off your pickups. I'm joking.
Right. I figure if you just assemble a big enough of an all-star cast, you don't even have to show up, right? I mean, you just kind of
Look at that. You
step
got
back into the shadows.
a whole thing going.
You know, got just like some of the best personalities on the internet, and David's even here. So
And David.
I mean,
That's what I was missing for the last 2 hours and 20 minutes. Damn.
exactly. That's what you waited for, David. Just for me to come in and just roast a little bit.
We don't want to treat you like Craig's nostalgic dot collections. Don't forget the dots.
No. I love you, David.
much
You know
more
that.
important
You know
than
that. Whether you want to admit it or not.
I still like
But
to hear it every now and then, Justin. You know?
yeah, it's fine. But I have no idea where you guys are at. Were we really about to sign out?
We were actually in the middle of a deep conversation, and
We've been
rudely
riffing.
interrupted. So, like,
Cleva, you just need to go back and repeat everything that you talked about.
I even. Oh man, that is so much
All the
stuff.
powerful shit for sure.
Yeah.
I'm not. I mean, we were on a point, but I was leading up to the next question because we were talking about Captain Planet earlier, and one of the questions that like we wanted to bring up during the stream was, now that we're all adults, right? We have adult money. What are some of the things that like if you could go back as a kid that you would buy, right? Like that you couldn't get as a kid. You know, there was so much when we were all kids, there was so much stuff on the shelves, and like I don't know about you guys, but like I know I had friends that would just get everything, and I was always super jealous about those kids. You know, I grew up a modest family, and like I got some things here and there, and birthdays and Christmas and stuff, but there's a lot of stuff out there that like I really, if I could go back and have the money, adult money as a kid, like I would tear shit up. So like where are we with that?
Adult money. Oh man, like we're talking like walking in like a Toys R Us in the 90s.
Yeah,
and just
you have the income you have now, but you're 8 years old.
Man,
I'm buying Amazon
I don't know about
stock.
you guys.
You're buying Amazon stock.
There we go, Alexi. There we go.
You're just starting Amazon, all right? And I think at that point, but yeah, I get it. Okay. Irresponsible things that you would do with adult money that are not investing, they're just related to buying toys. And go.
Yeah. I'm thinking play sets, man, right? I remember growing up one Christmas, I really wanted it was this damn like Toy Biz Spider-Man play set. I really wanted that. And looking back, I didn't have, what was it, the Kenner Batcave? I didn't have either of those. Big Bad Beetleborgs, man, the Hillhurst Mansion. That's a cool one. That one's really expensive right now. That'd been cool. And I'm trying to think of a like a weeb shit answer there, David, but I don't think there were any weeb shit play sets back in the day. No. I think that's it. Besides just, filling out lines. Because when you're a kid and you get good grades or something, you get a trip to the to the store to get something, you end up having to pick between like 2 or 3 different things. You get it narrowed down, and then you're like, oh, maybe one day I'll be able to come back and get this one. I don't know about you guys, but I was never able to go back and get those other ones. Like, they were gone. So that's why this sickness has taken hold, because it's now like, oh, now I can go back and get it. Now I can finish that team. Now I can do all that. So just team finishing and play sets, really. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. What about you, Cleva?
I think it's pretty much like, not to piggyback off what Justin said, but I think I mentioned in one of my videos too. I think a lot of people are trying to recreate their childhood. I'm trying to create it because
absolutely, yeah.
It's pretty much what it is. I am doing like when I go out there and buy anything, I'm talking to my younger self and I'm like, yo, fam, I got you, man. Like, we never had this, with the exception of like when I got out and got those turtles, because it was like it was clearance and, you know, whatever, and she was trying to bribe me to do what I had to do for the end of the year. And I did have a Castle Grayskull, but I never had like 2 things that match. I felt like things like Homie from Friday, right? Like, I have a Castle Grayskull, and then I have like a Thundercat over here, right? And then I have like a Ghostbuster, and then I have like these one-offs here and there. But like Justin said, by the time I go back, we're not even talking about next wave, we're talking about next season. So you know, there's no continuity with it. You know, now we have the ability to continue this and build on it. And I think that's exactly what I'm doing now. I'm trying to create now what I wish I had back then, because we could never duplicate. We can never do it back then. You know, I think that's the biggest part of it right there. For me, is really trying to create it. This is why when I say I buy things that mean something to me or whatever, that's what I'm talking about. It's not like I didn't just buy something because I saw it like on TV. I'm like, oh, I need that Jason mask. I never really rock with Jason like that. You know what I mean? Like that, I'm not gonna go out and buy that. You know, but when something does touch, I'm like, oh, I always wanted that, man. Like, you know, it's like that girl that got away. You know, and you don't see it 10 years old, you still want her. You know what I mean? It's like that.
Yep.
That exactly.
Yeah, I think I felt like I had the most adult money during the pandemic, and what I did was buy a bunch of Dio pieces to display my figures because I wanted the environment for them to operate in. Yeah. So play sets was kind of the thing where my mind went when I had more disposable income, because we were all just collecting money and didn't know when the world was going to reopen. I just started building dioramas and jail cells and shopping malls and all sorts of crazy, you know, conference rooms and shit and action figure gay bars. So like there's a million dioramas that are all around my apartment now. Just, you know, creating the bigger worlds for the characters. You know?
Did you start your first diorama during COVID?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, because I mean I was sitting home, like we didn't know when toys were gonna be, like movies were not happening. So like all the movie waves were like shuffled around and sitting in stock rooms for 6 months, 9 months. We didn't know what toys we were gonna have available. We didn't know if it was safe to go outside to Target. We didn't know anything. So I was just buying dioramas on eBay, the Buffy the Vampire Slayer library playset, and a modular buildable jail cell set, and a modular buildable shopping mall set. Like just ordering all this stuff on eBay, and because I was home for months, you know, doing nothing.
I made my first diorama during COVID. I was like, boy, the one you see, the one that's over here in the corner up there. I don't know if you can see it. Well, the one right behind me, I made that one too. But the one that was over here, really can't. That was my first one. I made this one second. I made those during COVID, like this one right here, and then this one is like kind of hard to see up there. Let me see something.
Is it like a street scene?
Yeah, they are.
Okay.
So it's like alley scenes, and the one that's over here. Oh, shit. This one right here, that was my very first one. It's kind of hard to see because the transformer that the parachute guy's in the way, the guy that this guy's roasting. But those dioramas, I made those myself, man, during COVID, because I was like, man, I'm kind of bored over here, you know. And they got magnets on them. They come apart. They're not stuck like that. I could take them apart. I could put them in the closet and stuff like that because dioramas take up space. You know.
Yeah, I made the conference table that the Avengers meet around with the big A on it.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah, I made one of those, just an aluminum disc and a gold letter decal. and a dollhouse table as the legs. It was like all on eBay, just like made it one day and take pictures of it all the time. But yeah, those little things, man, you know, to keep your mind occupied, keep you busy for an afternoon. Like, those are the things, man.
You know, we get stuck in this rut of buying all these figures. Every now and then it's nice to like kind of step back and be like, okay, what can I do to enhance the display around the figures? Make the figures pop more. Because if you're just going figures, you end up with like, I've got stuff on my desk right now. I've even put in the collection, mainly because I was going to show it off on the stream today. But at this point, I think I'm going to wait for pickups next week. I'm just going to show it a shit ton next week, I guess. Because it's, yeah.
Your weekly Weeb Shit Wednesday wrap up, wind up.
Yeah. There we go. Yeah. I have a lot to I guess I'll have a lot to talk about Wednesday. Right. So I'm gonna have to go back and re-listen to this stream tomorrow while at work too, to kind of catch up and, you know, see all the trash talk David was like, you know, spitting and all that good stuff. No.
We actually didn't talk about you at all, so
that hurts.
We
more.
moved on. We moved
That
on. You know,
that hurts more, honestly.
Cleva, you said that you've watched the stream before?
Yeah, I was 2 weeks ago. I was on the I woke up, like I said, when you talking about the Marvel, and I was like, damn, man. I was like, I wish I would have been on this one, man, because I was like, I had my son that weekend, and I was like, man, I wanted that the Marvel Gamerverse had my name all over that. I was watching reviews, and I came in during like I think the Venom part. That's when I popped in.
Okay.
I think it was like about 11ish. I said, are they still going? I said, oh, these guys are really going. And I said, oh, Gamerverse. I said, of course, man. Of course, they got stuff to talk about, man. And then I remember I was watching TV. I wanted to say something, and I was like, you know, you can just get up and go to the room and type to them. And I was like, all right, let me go over there. And that's when I came over here, right? Because I just woke up. But yeah, I saw that before. I saw that one when you was talking about that one, and there was another one. If I'm not mistaken, this wasn't always like this. There was a point where Justin was by himself, right? Am I mistaken?
Basically, you might as well have been, right? Right, David.
Basically, no, but that didn't last very long. But he's had us for support for a while. But I know that we did a Who's Your Batman kind of episode that I think you'd probably really dig, because we all kind of dug into like who is our representative Batman in our history. I think that's
where we found out that David's go-to Batman is comedian Pete Holmes' interpretation, actually. If you ever seen those YouTube videos, that's David's favorite.
What do you mean your favorite iteration of him, like the version wrote him?
Like the one that left his like fingerprints on your life, you know, what you think of when you think of your Batman. So like there's when you have time, maybe pull up that stream.
So like for instance, I'm saying like 1989 Michael Keaton, that's my Batman, right? Like I didn't read Batman comics. I'm a Superman fan, so Batman is secondary, you know. So
but we talked to Kenny anyway.
They still tolerate me. So it's
have you talked about your favorite Superman movie yet, Kenny?
No, but we did talk about Superman, the movie coming up, and some other, you know, we did talk about Superman. Don't worry, it came up. I mean, it's always going to come up.
Making sure. We got that bingo card we have to fill out every week. But yeah, Cleva, it's just because it's a good topic. That's not the only time the stream goes forever. We could stretch like a crappy topic for forever with this group of folks right here. I'm telling you, it's
also a blessing. It's also a blessing you guys got each other, because I could tell you right now, you guys get to bounce ideas off each other. You know, you get to fill in for each other. You get different perspectives. So that's always a good thing. I'm on an island by myself with this. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I'm always like, you know what I'm saying? When I have a question, I talk to ChatGPT. Like, what do you think about this? You know what I'm saying? Like, you guys talk to each other. So it's like, 3 a.m, he the only one who cares. You know? Yeah. So it's like, that's
where do really a lot of your ideas come from, Cleva? Like, do you go by like what has a positive reception on the channel, or do you experiment with stuff or explore ideas that you're unsure about?
So I definitely experiment. You know what I mean? I definitely experiment. But I think it goes back to what we tied into earlier. I don't want to get stuck having to have a figure in my hand. I don't want to get stuck being a faceless, nameless channel. I don't want to get stuck regurgitating things that I see everybody else see. So I was like, well, what do I got? You know what I mean? Like, what can I bring to the table? And the thing is, the things that I talk about are things I actually think about. I just have nobody to tell it to. You know what I'm saying? So like when I was talking earlier, and we was just talking about Psylocke, and I'm like, are pre-orders really a thing? I could really flip that to a whole video. Like, are pre-orders still needed? 2025. Like, is that really like where we at? I could flip that. That's I'm really thinking about that. Like, are pre-orders really needed? And I understand there may be some type of relationship or whatever, and one guy maybe. That's what's up, man. That is an outdated model. What are we doing in 2025? Putting the best characters as store exclusives. Everything is damn near an exclusive these days, Yeah. And I'm pretty sure once you start saying that, I'm already seeing head nods. People start saying, yes. It's funny because even if I didn't think it, now that you say it, I fucking think, I'm sorry. I think that, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, you're good.
I think that, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, I think a lot of people don't want to say things because they're scared of other people saying, well, I don't feel that way. Well, that is how I feel, and that's what it is. And if you don't like it, it's what it is. You can click off, but those are the facts, my brother. And when I say that this is how I feel, I don't just say it to say it. I'll say it, and I'll give you reasons why, and I'll dive into it, and you can feel free to chop that up. But you got to come with it the same way I came with it. You can't just say because I said so. That ain't gonna fly. You got to have something else. What else you got, my brother? Because I come from a lot of angles, and I think with people trying to chop me up. I think about them ahead of time, so I'm like, I can't give them that. I need more. I need this. Like, and I can't give them an easy comment.
You think about counter arguments before you put your argument forward.
I won't put certain things in if I can't. Right? I did trust me. I could take an 8-minute video, turn it to 20 minutes, but I'm like, hold up, this is gonna drag on. I want to do straight to the point, and only if this is gonna smack do I bring it up. If it's a jab, leave it off. You know what I'm saying? Let's go for hooks and straights. Yeah. So that's what I try to do. And like I said, I just want it to be different, man. We got how are we gonna be different if we all hold on the maximum Spider-Man? We all got the same. Once they see one, you see them all.
Yeah.
Once whatever the case is, and it's just something I naturally think this way. And I naturally like Psylocke. That got me pissed off. So I'm like, yo, I didn't get my Psylocke, man. What's up with these targets, man? What's up with this? So now I feel like saying, like, what's up with this? And I guarantee you, Sean didn't get his Psylocke today. I guarantee you there's a whole bunch of pissed off people.
And he'll get his either way, but yeah.
But he's still salty. Yeah. He's still salty, and he's still gonna say, "I know what you're talking about." They're not gonna take it from me. They can't discount. If you say you don't know what I'm talking about, you lying, or you just don't care.
I feel like with Shart though, like my reaction to his video of being upset that he couldn't get the pre-order, I was like, how are you gonna be who you are in the community and not know when the pre-order is live?
It's a tough spot.
That was my first reaction. Not that I felt like it was in disingenuous or that he wasn't being honest about not getting the pre-order or anything, but I was like, how is someone like you're not aware?
That's your shit. That's your
when
shit.
The pre-orders are dropping, But obviously, I didn't comment and say any, negative or anything like that. But I was like, man, even the greatest or the most popular aren't getting those pre-orders if they're not on top of it.
Yeah. And it's hard to gauge because Wolverine is still there. I mean, I didn't check now. I had checked earlier. He was still on Hasbro, still on everywhere. And Psylocke in 7 minutes? Like, damn, man. I mean, it wasn't hard to call. I knew that. I didn't think it was going to be 7 minutes, though. And the Hasbro website, they have, was that a bot blocker? You have to hold that button down for 10, 15 seconds?
The whole thing, why
does Target have that? Why doesn't, and Walmart, why do these billion-dollar corporations have the weakest websites? How is that? How?
Wow.
Like CVS has a better app than you. You can't be serious. Like, what's up? You know what I mean? I'm just saying, how is that a thing? Why can't you? You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody should get one. Now, Hasbro is you can order 5 and they'll stop you, right? How is Target letting you click off until you got no more money?
They just don't care. And as long as they get their money, they don't even care.
That's the problem. As long as you let that happen, you can't get an exclusive, my brother.
Yep.
But what's the problem with doing a window, right? All right, pre-orders open at 9 Eastern. They close at 11 Eastern. Get it in there or forget it.
Yeah, I mean, just
Yeah, I don't know.
And I'm at this point, I'm against exclusives, period, man. I just like forget about exclusives because I've never seen anybody like, oh, an exclusive, that's great. Like, unless you own a Target, like I don't see you saying that.
Speaking of exclusives, though, like I still can't find the red suit Strange Lives of Superman or the red Cyborg Superman Target exclusive. Shout out. Just kidding. Fuck you, Target, because you're messing with me right now. But anyway.
But yeah, Cleva, you saying that us being able to bounce ideas off each other. Yeah. I mean, it does help with like having the show and everything. I don't have to be on here just talking to myself and everything. I've actually got a really an in-depth clip of how we come up with ideas and just like, well, this was a kind of the part of a pitch for the show. Really.
I ain't asking for the world here. I'm just asking for an 8-ball and $2 million.
Yeah, that was part of it.
I saw Baby Billy, I was like,
he said,
yes, I want. Do your job, bitch.
Man, me and my wife just powered through Righteous Gemstones because we run out of shows to watch.
I love it, man. It's
powered through it. And the look on her face, because, you know, we live in South Carolina and it's based in South Carolina. And we didn't realize until about 3 or 4 episodes in. And we're both cry laughing because we had said during the first episode, this is like some shit that's going on around here. And then, like, sure enough, we're like, oh no. Oh no. Thanks for the representation. Thanks, Danny McBride.
Thanks.
But so it's good. Look, you just had a storm, and if it would have been just you would have had to cancel.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Power outage, they would hold you down. You get to bounce back in. Nothing really changed. Still keep it going. You know, one hand wash the other, both hands wash the face.
Exactly. This is not the first time I haven't been able to make my own stream, or had to host during a power outage. It's happened before. Hell, Kenny,
I had a power outage once too on this. Yeah,
he joined from the back of a van, you know, and we had to negotiate his release. So
he had a face cover, but he was still here. You couldn't see his face, but he was in the stream. Yeah,
it was my voice just saying I'm okay over and over again. It was
I'm okay. We've got a $5 super chat from Shane Shooter. Miss Psylocke 2, I think Target pays for the exclusives for foot traffic. I think they purposely stop them just so they want you in their store. Yeah, that makes sense.
You figure that Target orders a certain amount from Hasbro to be able to ship for the pre-order from the app, but also a certain amount to have in the store on the shelves that are separate from the ones that go up for pre-order. So it's probably quick to hit the pre-order max cap because they still have a commitment to another amount for the store, you know?
Yeah.
And
Shane Shooter, thank you for the super chat. And this is what Target said to everybody.
You get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
There we go. Yeah, I was getting itchy watching the stream, knowing I couldn't pull any triggers or anything. I was like,
You were like, no, show the clip now.
No.
I can't hear you guys.
Oh my gosh.
No?
What happened?
Nothing?
Oh, he can't
hear you guys.
Nothing? We can hear you.
See, Justin broke it.
Justin, you son of a bitch.
So we can't hear. Does this make any sense?
Well, also I saw like
I can hear you now.
Oh, we're back?
Yeah, I couldn't hear you before. I was like, oh man, that's what happened before.
Well, Kenny got abducted again. So I don't know. Kenny's gone. He's gone. That's all. So where are we at, guys? Where are we at? I'm completely.
I think we should revisit the chat. There's a few people that joined us after Tac.
Let's scroll up. Yeah, Mark Tac popped in saying could ride the classified USS flag all the way, all the way over here. Legion X. I knew Oh, he knew when it was going up and couldn't get the site to work. Yeah, a lot of it. I only got it because Kenny shared the link.
Yeah,
But when I was
got
typing
it
in,
because
like nothing was
someone
popping up.
shared. Dude, I literally searched Marvel Legends, Psylocke, Thanos, just those 4 words, and it didn't pop up. And I was like, what the fuck? And then I went to our Instagram chat to just ask someone to send me the link. And that was the only way I found it, because searching it was not a method. So I don't know what they think they were doing.
Yeah,
So you had to add the Gamerverse. You had to add the Gamerverse part in it, or otherwise, it didn't. Yeah, like
so dumb. That's so dumb. St. James is here. Sharks fired. Yep. Michael's here. Bring toys to work. Saying, here's the thing: for people who've been collecting Marvel Legends for a while, know how pre-orders work. How do you not know to be ready for the Target? Yeah, it's Target. Here's the thing: even if you got your pre-order in through Target or Walmart, there's still all of us that have been burned before. They could cancel it anytime. What was it? The Tracksuit Mafia guys that all got canceled and then ended up like showing up at Ollie's and stuff later on, or on clearance. Walmart. It's crazy. Robert Falcone is here. I got my Gamerverse Psylocke pre-order in at Target app at 9:02. More obvious, were sold out immediately afterwards. Yeah, I think when I refreshed at like 9:05, they were all gone, or said pre-order sold out. It was quick. Let's see who else is here. Let's see. What's St. James saying? Let's be honest. Target don't really care about those exclusives. It does zero for their bottom line. Well, it's like an investment, right? It's that whole big business thing. You spend money to make money, and they're just buying in bulk from Hasbro, and it gets foot traffic in the door, right? It gets people on the website. You go on the website to buy an action figure, you might throw something else in the cart,
Yeah, I don't think the individual store gives a damn about the exclusives, but like the company buys into them because it must drive a profit for them somewhere, Right. They wouldn't do it if it didn't profit them.
I mean, when I went online to pre-order the Psylocke Thanos pack, I also got laundry detergent and cat food and booty wipes. So
the dude wipes, right, Alexi?
Yeah. Dude wipes. Right.
Kenny dropping a super chat. I'm taking my union mandated break. I think you earned it, Kenny. I think you earned it.
Thank you.
Just for today.
Yeah.
And I was really disappointed. As soon as the power at our house flickered for a split second and came back on, I know where like Andrew lives. I was like, oh, he's not going to be on tonight. His power didn't come back on. There ain't no way. Right. Apparently a Dollar General down the road was on fire. I don't know.
What the fuck? That sounds right.
Fire sale?
As crazy as that is, it sounds right.
Yeah.
Yeah, fire sale. There you go, Ken. There you go, Lexi. There you go. So, Kenny, where were we at in the show?
Before you joined?
Before I joined and messed up all the rhythm.
That was like 30 minutes ago. I don't know. We were
honestly, we haven't really been following a schedule. We did pickups and then we just started winging it from there.
We just started talking about toys and collecting and
yeah. Was there anything, Cleva? We've been asking you a lot of questions. Was there anything that you wanted to ask us? Like anything that you were curious about?
Well, I know that Justin has a channel, and I think does everybody here have a channel, or how does that work?
No, hell no. I'm not doing all that work.
I mean, you right here. You rate there most of it.
It's just me and Justin, and
so
I have.
David has a fierce Instagram following. I will say that though.
Oh yeah, with that many figures, of course.
Yeah.
So then, how did this transpire? If you guys don't have YouTube channel, how did you? So wouldn't we just be like, "Yo, what's up?"
Well, Alexi is the glue that keeps us all together.
We met at
all right.
Orangey,
Remember,
right?
I don't know real names.
Your boys got toys. Is the glue that keeps us all together. Now, Dan who reviews. That's how we all met. Right? Well, why am I talking? Justin, it's your channel. Tell the man. Talk to the man.
So when I was a wee lad and I came across Dan Who's channel, 4 years ago? Holy shit, has it been 4 years? Wait, 5 years almost, probably.
Or 6 or
It's-
7 or 8. Would it just you just
who knows?
just
Who knows?
pick
Who
a year.
cares? Who cares? So so Dan does a thing on his channel called Legends and Liquor, where you don't have to drink or anything, but he just has channel members and people that want to support his channel come on and talk about whatever the topic is. So we all met each other from doing that, going on the channel, talking, not only getting to know him, but getting to know each other. Past that, there's also like Instagram group chats where we all talk, and then like it kind of splits off into us talking to each other, helping each other with figures, talking about collections, calling David old, talking about Alexi's foot fetish, how Kenny always thinks he's better than the lesser people that he just looks down on. And how I'm just a very humble person, really. That's the only thing anybody can use against me. But yeah, it's crazy how, because Kenny lives at, what's exactly your address, Kenny? Again,
it's
lives in DC,
right? Washington DC. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Alexi's all the way over in California. David's in New York, and I'm in South Carolina. So like we are spread out, and then we've got friends like in every state and across the pond in different countries, and it's just wild. And we all met through like one dude's YouTube channel, and I wouldn't have a YouTube channel
which that dude doesn't even live in this country, which is
exactly
also a whole thing.
Yeah. And we don't even like that guy anymore, right? He's not even that good. Right? Great. Screw you, Dan. Nah, he kind of just brought everybody together, and we decided, hey, let's do what he does, but better, right? So let's at least that's what David said. So I'm becoming a pro at just throwing other people under the bus, Cleva, if you can't tell.
Yeah, you did it a few times already. It's seamless. It's seamless. It's like,
right.
It just comes,
it comes natural at a point, but yeah, and there's just, when I got big into collecting, because I've always collected a little bit, but finding like other YouTube channels, being like, oh, this is like a thing, like, and then being able to talk to these guys, it gives you, dare I use the word, a community vibe, but also kind of enables you to collect crap too. But it gives you people to bounce ideas off of, and bounce like, oh, I've been looking for this figure, and what do you guys think about this? And oh, don't pick this thing up, it's a piece of trash, and just stuff like that. And then you end up on a YouTube channel talking for 3 hours every Saturday night at 8:45 p.m. ish Eastern Standard Time.
Wow. So this whole channel, I mean, not the channel. So this whole Saturday night show is basically a product of collecting within itself. Like this is the maturation of collecting. You guys have birthed this from that. Without collecting, this wouldn't take place.
It happened so natural because Dan talked me into starting the channel. I started the channel. I did a bunch of crappy videos, and then eventually I was like, I really want to live stream, right? So the first live stream was just me, Andrew, who's not here today, because as David would say, he lives in a backwoods town off bumfuck nowhere, and
or a basement.
Yeah. Andrew's actually my cousin. We're like the same age, and we grew up together, and we both kind of collect, but we collected at very different levels and very different things, really. So, and I asked him, I was like, dude, I really don't want to do my first live stream alone. Would you mind coming on with me? And he did. And then he instantly abandoned me episode 2. And I don't know do you know who Rocco the Great is?
Yeah.
He was on
episode 2. I caught that with you guys. You guys were ranking toy companies.
Yeah, a lot of people didn't like that episode.
Including Rocco, surprisingly.
Oh man,
he ranked it in his bottom list of channels he's been on.
Yeah.
Really?
No.
No,
I'm joking.
I 100% believed you, Kenny. I was like, no way.
And then
I mean, probably. So.
See, me, Alexi, and Kenny, we all already knew each other. So it was David came in, I think, episode 4, and he was like, I'm not leaving. I don't care, how much you make fun of me. I'm not going anywhere. This is the hill I die on.
Water on the channel.
Well, I will put all of that aside because I know you need me this much.
Right.
Yeah.
David did help me rebrand the channel, rebrand the show. Actually, he came up with the show, the name for Collecting Justified.
That's dope.
Alexi, when did Alexi come in? It was,
Episode 6.
I was like, hey man, do you mind coming on? It'd be really fun. And he came on, and then we haven't let him leave since. He's under contract. He didn't read the fine print. It's his fault. And
These
then
aren't even real.
Kenny runs this tiny little channel, and he was like, please let me on, guys, please. Fine, whatever. You know, his channel definitely isn't bigger than mine or anything. And yes, yeah,
it's dope
and I
though.
was like, you know what?
It's dope. You guys got a feel good vibe, and you guys mesh well together too. I've seen I watch everything. I'm a fan of everything. I watch everything, and I've always I thought about doing lives, but it's never really like. I always felt like it was too early for me. I was like, wait, pump the brakes, wait, just focus on one thing. I didn't want to spread too far out. I'm also like like an instant gratification, and things have to pop quickly for me. And if I'm by myself, I'm talking like 3 people, like what's gonna happen is I'm gonna get off and I'm gonna be like, man, I'm off this, man. Like, whatever the case. Even if I get 1 million views later, it's just hard because in the mix of it, it's like this is live. Like when I do a video, I get to trim things out, I get to take things out, I get to watch things. I get to be like, maybe I shouldn't have said it like that. Let me shoot this over again. Because sometimes I say things a certain way, I'm like, that could be taken out of context. Hold up. And I'll shoot it over. Live, you really don't get that stream. You really don't get that chance. And I was like, oh man, like it's kind of like, put it all on the line.
But
Nothing on this
in the videos
on here could ever be taken out of context. Nothing that's ever been said, right?
No, but Cleva, I think in the videos that you do put out, I think you're talking to the camera, you're talking to the audience, and clearly people that are watching you respond to you and resonate with what you have to say. So I think that that's a blueprint to be able to do a live regardless. And it's up to you whether you want the vibe to be you doing a live connecting with the chat or doing a live with another person to bounce something off of. But you seem comfortable here with us bouncing topics back and forth, so is that something that you would see yourself evolving to in your channel? Possibly.
The thing is, man, I don't know if you guys, I don't know how deep you got. This takes a lot of time, these videos that I do, whenever you see something pop into that screen, he didn't just want to pop in that screen. That's a process. And when I'm saying 1, 2, 3, 4, I'm listing 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's all of 3 seconds. That took all of 30 minutes. You know what I mean? To get those 3 seconds. And it's like, so sometimes I go into this editing, I fall asleep right here. I'm like, yo, man, because it gets like, that's the worst part of it. I could record in an hour. It might take 20 to edit it, or 15 or whatever the case is. And people don't realize like how long that dwells on you and takes on you. In the beginning, you got all this energy in the beginning. You start getting 10 minutes in, you're like, I've been here 5 hours, and you look like, I only affected 36 seconds. Oh, hell no. Okay, we're gonna have to speed this up. And then you start cutting corners. You start like, bigger stretches or whatever the case is. So lives are cool because I think that it gives you the opportunity where you don't have to do all of that. You know what I mean? You could just take a break and you could just fall back from that. It gives you a break from having to cut and paste and using Canva and then finding things and seeing what's going on, stick it in, get the sound effect. You don't got to do none of that. You can just be like, bang, what's going on. Right. There's something to be said about that, but then it also comes with something else, which is you got to keep this party going. I could hit the pause button, take a break, go smoke a vape, get something to drink, come back and finish off. You never knew. The only way you know is if the light changes in my thing. Like you've never seen my light like this because I don't shoot at nighttime. I shoot at 5:30 in the morning or 5:30 in the afternoon, right before work, right after work. So you always see, and depending on the sun, you can tell what time it is. It's not that it takes a lot of time. And then when you get a break, sometimes you want that break. Right now, my YouTube schedule is like this. I drop on Thursday, right? Thursday morning, 7 a.m. Try my best to do that. Usually put it up the night before. I used to drop it 1 o'clock in the morning, 12 o'clock at night. But then the analytics tell me, oh, you've been out for 8 hours. So it starts feeling like nobody's watching it. Well, you know what it is? All collectors have jobs just like me. We probably all sleeping because we need money to collect, man. We can't they're saying like a hip hop channel, you can stay up smoking weed all night because half of them is just up all night anyway. You know what I mean?
Fair, yeah.
Right, but we got to get, how are we going to get these Captain Americas? How are we going to get these Wolverines? They're not just falling in our mailbox. We got to get this money, so we got to go to sleep, which means it makes perfect sense that if I'm sleeping, they sleeping too. Maybe that's not my best time. Maybe 7 in the morning when I'm going to work and everybody's driving to work, that's a better time slot. You know what I mean? So that's why I started picking up in that. Then I like, Fridays and Thursdays better than Mondays and Tuesdays because people are going into the weekend. They're kind of checking out for the week. They're kind of like, man, this week been done. What are you talking about? Let me see what's going on. Monday is kind of like, oh, this is fresh. I get to that. So you might push me on the back burner. So I think about these things. So I drop it Friday. I drop it Thursday. Thursday, I'm writing for comments when I get to work. Friday, the same thing. Mostly trying to answer everybody as much as I can. Trying to show as much, appreciation for everything. Giving as much likes, whatever. Once Saturday hits, I got to start thinking about next Thursday. I usually have a list of things that I wanted to touch on, and I just try to see which one. I'm still not decided yet. By Sunday night, I have to be locking in writing, or by Monday, I script everything. So I don't just freestyle into the camera. I don't know if you guys got that. Every single word on every single thing. If you see me on the camera, I wrote that. If I'm behind the camera, I did not write that. And I write it the way I talk. The same way I'm talking to you guys now. If I be like, yo, fam, I wrote that. Yo, fam. I write it the way I talk. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I have to have that done by Monday. And that's like 6-7 pages type for like a 9-minute video.
It's very obvious, like when you're on camera, that what you are conveying to the audience, like you have, I don't want to say you've scheduled it, but you've definitely planned it out. And what you're saying has thought behind it. It's not something that you're just saying off of emotion or that it just came to you and you're like spitting it out randomly. Like that was something I noticed like while watching a lot of your content, is I was like, oh, he's definitely pointed in his message and like has specifically designed what he's saying in this content like for the audience. So I do enjoy that a lot about your channel, and I agree that that's not really something that you can keep structured in lives, because when you're scheduling these outputs, then like you said, you have a lot of time to like practice, rehearse, or like refilm or re-record stuff and then like put out exactly what you want. So I do enjoy that about what you're doing.
I appreciate that, man. But those are the differences right there. So like, and I'm always like, yo, we don't get a second chance at this. Like we get one chance. It's just one. I watch YouTube with the remote in my hand, man. Like, when I see people like, and they'll do something like, they'll get on and be like, hey guys, and start taking breaks. Let me see what's going on. Let me drink that. Okay, guys. You should have drank that before you got on or after you got off. I'm not gonna say anybody should drink that, my brother. Like, I'm not saying you got. I mean, we're all doing it, right? We're all doing it right now but this is a live. So somebody's talking, somebody else is drinking. So when you're there by yourself, you're like, hey guys.
Yeah, that's wild.
Like,
I think I watched.
Like, what was I gonna say? I have no idea. Oh, let me just wing it. Oh, come on, guys. What are we doing, man? And this goes back to what I was talking about, where I feel like anybody in their mom's basement feels like I got a Spider-Man and an iPhone. I could do this, And I'm like, this is the only niche that's really like that. The only one. Oh, one of the few.
I watch so much YouTube. I try to stay up to date on pretty much like what almost everybody's doing. I enjoy the content, and like there aren't many hobbies like this where you can just turn on like YouTube and just get so many different points of views and everything, and just get so much content. And there's, Kenny, like you said earlier, like there's a lot of YouTube channels out there. There's a lot of toy YouTube channels out there.
Too many, honestly.
Yeah, right. But I mean, there's plenty, because not everybody's style's gonna be for everybody, right?
But that's the beautiful thing, right?
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes. Like that's like some people like card. I haven't seen Cardback in a while, but Alexi could have a YouTube channel
here. Don't worry.
On the camera. Alexi could just turn on the camera and just stare at it for like 30 minutes. Cardback would like watch every second of that. Right.
Yeah.
Do you guys follow people and watch to see only for positive things? Or do you also watch to say, let me watch this. I'll make sure I never do this.
I get Cleva.
You know what I mean? Like, you follow just to be like, I never want to be like that. If I ever catch myself going this direction, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I watch it all.
Oh yeah, thank you.
I watch it all because I want to see what the competition is. I want to see what's going on. I want to see I want to see the people that are talking shit. And look, like this motherfucker Elite Legend, like I watch his stuff because this guy is like I don't know what the point is, right? I
You're on the
watch
hit
it,
list
bro.
now, Kenny.
Fine, whatever. I don't care. It's like, well, who am I? I'm nobody, right? I watch this because I'm like, dude, why are you wasting your breath? I don't know about you guys, but like, I have a life, and I don't have time to like worry about figures and what people are spending money on and complaining about. Cleva, we talked about it earlier. Why are we complaining about figures? If you're complaining about it so much, do something else. I will tell, and all these guys know this. I work in a cemetery, man. I every day I go to a cemetery to go to work. All right, every day that I'm 6 feet above ground is a good day for me. You know what I mean? Like, what? I don't have time to waste breath on complaining about action figures. This is nonsensical to me. I don't get it.
What is
people,
elite collectors?
People flock to this, and whatever. You know, I just don't. I don't have time for it. But
Is Elite Collectors a channel that they only bitch about legends?
Elite Legend, yeah.
I think he's just a pot stirrer, more about other YouTubers, I think is what it is. Yeah. I think he just enjoys stirring the pot. Like, Kenny, I don't think I've ever asked you this. Because we talked about the background of my channel and this show.
Yeah.
What drove you to starting your channel?
My thing was like I collect figures. I want to my real like impetus to driving the channel was I'm going to do the reviews so I can actually open the figures, I can enjoy the figure, I can see the figure and then put it on the shelf. Instead of like I'm buying and just having collections of boxes, right? Like every figure that came in, I should record a video of it, put it on the shelf, because then I'll take a picture of it because that's how I end the videos, right? So it was really just this idea of, I guess, documenting what I'm collecting. Now, I've certainly gotten away from that because it's hard to keep up with that idea, but that was initially that was the goal. So, yeah. I don't know.
Well, you're damn good at it, Kenny. You're damn good at it.
Just saying. I'm just here. I'm just here for the enjoyment, right? Like,
if you're not enjoying your hobby, why is it your hobby? Right?
Yes, exactly.
Fair point.
Well, I think to add to that you see how you said your hobby. I think that's it. I think it's not really theirs. You know, we've all tried something at some point, right? I think I wanted to play basketball at one time until I realized I was never going to be Jordan. You know, that the gym wasn't the basketball who wasn't for me. You know what I mean? We all try something and we find out it may be for us or may not be for us. You know, but we know it's for us. We stick with it. You know what I mean? It kind of stays with you.
Yeah.
Not a very good choice, I think.
Cleva, I did have, again, I'm so sorry. It took me like, 2.5 hours to get on my own stream. The 1 week I finally have you on. But I had a list of questions here, and I think the guys hit everything. But there's one very important question that's I left it for last because it's the most important question of the stream. And then we'll wrap it up. But so
feel free to not answer this question because I think I know what it is. Yeah.
So there's a monumental movie that came out. I believe it was like 2016. And I'm just wondering, like, what are your thoughts on Kubo and the Two Strings?
And who?
Exactly.
And answer.
Yes.
Damn it.
Exactly. 100%.
Thank you, everybody. Good night.
Have a good night, guys. Appreciate it.
I think I need to Google it. I gotta Google it. No comment. I gotta see what's going on because I think I'll go down.
It's on Netflix. Just watch Kubo and the Two Strings. You won't regret it. These guys give me crap about it all
like guitar strings.
Yes, and the two strings. Yes, it's like it's like a stop motion animation mixed with like regular animation type movie.
I like stop motion.
Yeah, if you've seen like, what was it? What it's the same company that did like Coraline and I can't think of the other one right now, but it's a really, really good movie, and you need to watch it, David. Okay.
But Cleva just said he likes to be efficient and doesn't like to waste time. So why would he watch that?
That's fair.
Yeah, got
That's
two
fair.
people
Thank
in
you,
the chat.
Michael.
Greg Trejo and Michael. Bring toys to work. They both.
There you go.
Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah.
two people liked it.
Perfect.
Well,
It's
two
two
strings, two people. I think we figured it out.
Yeah.
That checks
We
out.
just become best friends. Yup.
Yeah.
That was a nice clue. You had those on standby.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Oh yeah,
Yo,
I've got them
I
all
can't
loaded
hear
up
you. I
right here.
can't hear
Clever.
you.
Oh no!
Well,
Here we
I
go.
think when you play the
Hit it
clip
again.
again,
Every time you do that, I can't
get
hear you.
audio back. Play it one more time. He might.
Hey, how you doing?
That was the wrong one.
Are you
but-
back?
Yeah, so does that like take off the guest whenever you put a clip?
Yeah.
It's
See,
Yeah,
that's the same problem Renz had on my stream 2 weeks ago. He wasn't
That was
hearing
his
it, but
happening.
like the rest of us hear it. I don't
Oh.
know what that's about.
But I
So
couldn't.
No,
did
like-
you see the clips at all?
I saw the clip. I heard the clip, but as soon
Oh.
as you bring it back, it was back to what we
it
was
cuts
going through
audio.
before.
Yeah.
All audio was off, and I didn't even
cuts
hear a
audio.
hum. Like I knew, I was like, "Whoa, I don't hear
It's
nothing,
weird.
nothing." And then I see lips
Oh.
moving. I wait for somebody to talk. I'm like, "Yeah, I'm off." And then
It's
when
like
you
a
put it back,
Godzilla
it comes
movie.
back.
Well, so guys, we didn't do a poll. Okay, so blindly, nobody give
I don't
nobody
think so.
give Cleva any information. Okay, Cleva, if you had to pick one person on this stream today to read out the channel member list, who would you pick? And it can't be me. That's the only thing. It just can't be me.
But it's your channel. It should be you.
Yeah.
So hold
No,
up.
No.
I said I've caught enough streams. I already know Encounter Culture is pissed off that he gets to read them all the time. Right? Matter of fact, I caught you saying that on the Marvel stream. He was like, he makes him read them as slow as possible, right?
Thank you.
Then I feel like David and me. Wait, what's your name? Is it David Evans? What's going on here? David?
It's all three.
David Evans.
It's my full name, David Evan Smith. Yeah.
Oh, because the and was throwing me off. That's what I was like. Who's all right? So me and David was chopping up for a long time. Your boy got toys too. Was talking too, but hey, he had the minimal amount of screen time. So maybe he
I
should
agree.
get some.
Okay.
I'm trying to look out. Everybody got to be fair.
Thank you.
And before we go to this, I do want to say, before people start dropping off or anything, everybody make sure if you're subscribed to this channel, if you're watching this live stream, and for some reason you are not subscribed to Cleva's Multiverse, link is in the description down below. It'll be the best sub you've made this year, especially if I'm on that same board. So make sure you subscribe to Cleva. Also follow him on Instagram. That link is down there below. And while we're talking about better channels than this one, make sure you subscribe to Kenny as well, okay? And you can go be like David's millionth follower on Instagram if you want to too.
He does. Have
And yeah. And follow Alexi as well. Don't follow me. Nobody cares. Okay. So let's, before we get this channel member read out, Cleva, any final thoughts, anything you want to say, my friend?
Man, I want to say thank you guys so much for having me on here. I really appreciate you guys. You guys not only gave me an opportunity to express myself, but my first time being on a live, got to share that with you guys. I know that we hardly get to talk. Just it's the first time we talked, and we had a very slim amount of time doing it. But I'm always down to connect with you again if you ever want to. And you know, I always looked at it like I feel like we in the same place, and if this was a XXL magazine, we'll both be in the same freshman class, and we on the same couple, my brother. So you know, if you need anything from me, I got you. Thank you for being around and supporting Cleva's Multiverse. I've been supporting your channel. I will continue to do so. Everybody here has been great. I appreciate you guys, and the same thing goes for y'all.
Appreciate it, man.
Thanks for coming on, man. It's been great.
Appreciate you guys, man.
The door is always open. Just let me know you ever want to come back on. Doors always open, my friend. Okay.
You got it. I'm more than down to do it.
It's like, man, of course, this would be the night that my power and internet would be acting up and everything. Of course. Yeah, never.
We gotta do it again, matter of fact, because we gotta do a whole one where we get the whole episode in. So we'll make it happen.
Definitely.
We'll make it happen.
There you go.
You got to have my trash talk for the full 3 hours. Okay, you just got to.
Before we sign off, I one quick comment. I just want to say, Cleva, I know that you're a New York fan. I see the Yankees hat, but just got to say, man, it's all about Baltimore, brother.
All right, so you're gonna win this one very easily because this is more like a uniform to me. You know what I mean? I didn't even like baseball. I'm a Patriot fan, Tom Brady all the way. And when he fell off, I retired with him. So this is like saying I'm from New York. It's my uniform. If I was from Chicago, I wouldn't be a Bears fan. I'm just saying.
That's fair. That's fair.
So yeah, Carlos.
Hold on. Before we sign off, Michael, bringing toys to work. Thank you so much, my friend, with the huge $19.99 super chat. Great stream. Cleva was a fantastic guest. Thank you, Michael, so much. Michael's just a beacon of light in the collecting community.
Absolutely.
And Michael definitely busted out. I'm gonna have to play it twice so Cleva doesn't lose the audio.
Never leave the cave without it.
Yep.
And
thank you so much for being my friends.
Back?
Yeah,
Still here?
It's funny because it didn't happen last time. You used to have to play a different one. I heard that.
There we go.
That's crazy. At the end, it want to act right.
I guess I like that we get 2 clips, right? I got back clip and Billy Boucher. So. Bobby Boucher. Bobby
Boucher.
Bobby.
That's the sequel, dude.
Don't Billy Boucher is the sequel. Yeah.
All right. So let's see. We got Alexi doing it tonight. And Alexi, we do have.
Yeah.
I'll get them on the ready. We do have new channel members. I'll throw them to you at the end. Okay.
Okay. How many should I be expecting here?
10.
10
new channel members. All right.
You got this, bro. You got this.
Yeah. Okay. So in light of Bring Toys to Work, super chat, I'm gonna read every Justified MVP member as Bring Toys to Work. So thank you so much, Bring Toys to Work, for being a Justified MVP. Also, thank you so much, Bring Toys to Work, because the Justified MVPs are a really big part of the channel members. And it's people like Bring Toys to Work that really make this tier worth being part of the channel. And what I mean by that is when Bring Toys to Work is a channel member and also super chats, he does things like make Bring Toys to Work feel like a more suitable member of the channel, and we really appreciate that. So I just want to move on to the other Justified MVP members like Bring Toys to Work, and I appreciate what you've done all night. You've been here, you guys have all been here, you're MVPs, regardless if you have 3 names or if you have 2 names or 1 name, like Bring Toys to Work. So thank you so much to Bring Toys to Work. And then of course the last member of the Justified MVP, Bring Toys to Work. Really appreciate that. Obviously there's nothing we can do because this tier of the channel membership is about Bring Toys to Work. So really appreciate that. Much appreciated. Moving on to the Justified, Dan Who Reviews, never heard of him. Christopher Allen, check out Christopher Allen on the T stream that actually happened on Friday over at Encountered Culture. If you really want to see Christopher Allen's opinions on G.I. Joe and everything else that Bring Toys to Work has brought toys to work, but also because, Christopher Allen's collecting G.I. Joes. And if you got a G.I. Joe, then you're at least going to want to display it once. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
I was hoping I could interject because I felt like we should mention Bring Toys to Work. And I'll turn it back over to you.
When I think of bringing toys to work,
yes, thank you.
I think of how Justified the members of this channel are. And it makes me want to bring toys to work.
Yeah.
You know who brought toys to work one time? Kurt K. And they thought, Mr. K, are you supposed to have toys here? And he said to those students, do you not want me to bring toys to work? And by not wanting to not bring toys to work, they therefore bring those toys to
I think
work.
that Cleva chose Alexi to avoid this craziness.
So, moving on to the Justified. Cole's Cave. Shout out Cole's Cave. You're a piece of shit because you didn't elect my photo to be the better of David, Evan, and Smith, who pulled a photo out of their ass at the last second of a competition and then somehow won. No one's ever heard of that. I have an award for a competition, by the way, that I won, but bring toys to work. You can weigh in on that later. Moving on to your boys got toys. I do have toys. I am your boy. Oh my God. After your boys got toys, though, have you guys heard of bring toys to work? Because
maybe vaguely.
Oh wow. Michael is what a collector. Around. Yeah. I know some people, they have displays and then they have stuff that they have to stash away because they can't display it. Well, Bring Toys to Work organizes and displays the figures stashed away that can't be displayed. I know that doesn't make sense, but go into Bring Toys to Work closet and there will be displays of toys that weren't brought to work, which, yeah. Think of that what you will. Super Turk 5000. There's been 4,999 Super Turks prior to you, but Super Turk 5000, you're a justified member. And for that, Bring Toys to Work. Miley Moon Boots is no more. And now we honor Mikey Moon Boots. So thank you for being a justified member. Always happy to see you in chats all across YouTube. Jay's Toy Collection UK. Stop buying toys, man. You got plenty of toys. The collection is Jay Big. And now you got to make sure you know what to do with it. Hey, but good luck on that G.I. Joe HasLab because, wow, it's going to be a cold winter. Chi Collects, always a pleasure. Saw you, I think, earlier, and I see you all across the YouTube channels. So Chi Collects, bring toys to work.
Shout out Hep C.
Hep C. I hope I don't ever get that, but I think we're shouting out Hep C for some reason. Did you mean Pepsi? Diet Hep C?
Chi-Chi's, remember? That was the whole thing. Anyway.
Okay. Sorry. Chi Collects has Hep C, I guess.
Different Chi-Chi's.
No, different. Sorry. That's not what I meant either.
Oh, God.
Hep C.
Damn it, David. They're both at it now.
Chi brings toys to work. Let's just keep going.
There's no
Jared Byrne, fucking fire displays. Not even kidding. All jokes aside, Jared Byrne, your displays are pristine, concise, very structured, very admirable. Jesse Hubbard, thank you so much for being justified, Jesse Hubbard. You're no bring toys to work, but I imagine you bring it. Burgos LJ, thank you so much for being justified. Shane Shooter, you were in the chat and you were vibing with Cleva and you were vibing with all the things we were saying. So much appreciated, Shane Shooter. As appreciated as Tac Tac Toys, which was also in the chat. Thank you so much, Tac Tac Toys. Tac Tac, Mark, you and me, I love your voice. Get the AI out of there. We want to see you being excited about the figures, not the AI. That doesn't matter, though. You've already been taken over. So Tac Tac Toys, don't forget to bring toys to work. KJ Smith, STM Figures. Shout out to the two of you for being justified. Stoned Capybara. We've all been there. You know what I'm saying? Someone passes you a little rolled up something. You're interested in capybaraing around. And, well, now we've got Maximum Hulk. Am I
Also,
right?
capybaras, man. They're cool. You ever seen one?
I've smoked with one. You know what I'm saying?
What a coincidence.
Stone Capybara. Also, seen you over at Rowdy Riles. Pretty sure popular member over there, and Rowdy Riles kicking it as well. So,
did you get the shout out? Yeah.
Oh, the extra 10? No, we didn't. The show's over. Have a good night, guys.
I sent the screenshot in the group chat.
Don't forget them.
Oh, it's in the group chat. Sorry, let me pop over there. Got 10 more people. No nudes. Jeez Louise.
Past the
I see it.
There it is. Yeah.
Wait, Codeman617. Thank you for being part of the Justified. John Busing Jr. Is that Secret Galaxy over in your profile picture right there?
It's like Gary Busey.
Like John Busing Jr. Yeah. Wolfpack Toy Review, Miguel, Bay Area Collector, Bang Bang, Niner Gang. Thank you for stopping by. Darth Primus, shout out. Cardback. You dirty, vile son of a mother.
Fuck you, Cardback. Just kidding.
All right. The views of other co-hosts of the Just Justin Collecting Justified do reflect all of the views of the members. Fuck you, Cardback. Sorry. Agmarine, Phil Jones, Secret Phil Jones. Thank you so much for being a Justified and basically catching a free membership. Darth Primus, I saw you. Phil Jones, I saw you. Start with a click. Shelly. Always a pleasure to have a teabag from across the pond here on the stream. Lone Dragon, I've seen you here. Thanks for being part of the Justified. Gabriel, the Archangel, thank you for being here and being part of the Justified. Is there others? Should I just start shouting out people across YouTube?
You should.
Bring Toys to Work upgraded his membership to Justified MVP. Said there, Alexi, are you happy? Thank you, Michael.
I am happy now. Thank you so much, Bring Toys to Work. And Home Dude, thank you also for lurking and being here for the end of it. I'm sorry I couldn't pontificate as well as Encountered Culture Kenny, but I'm always thinking about the lurkers and how happy we're making them. So thank you, Home Dude. You are certainly my dude.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, everybody, for watching, dealing with this. Thank you to all my wonderful co-hosts for taking care of.
Cleva,
are we
play one more clip so that Cleva can hear? Yeah.
No,
play one more side clip.
I'm not a smart man.
Back?
Yeah.
Nope.
Hold on. How about?
Don't forget, you're my #1 customer.
All right.
Now you're back?
All right.
Okay.
You gotta play two movies. You gotta have two now. You can't have one. You gotta have two every time.
Got it.
What about the music?
The OG clip. It took the OG clip.
That slow music was killing me. I was like, oh man, I never saw that before. I had me rolling. I was crying over it. I was like, oh, yeah, that's a nice touch.
That originally was our Remembrance of David song, because his phone dies every now and then. But Cleva, thank you for being here, my friend. Thank you for Kenny for carrying all the weight of the show on your shoulders. I know David didn't help you at all. It's tough. It's tough, but thank you everybody for watching, and tune in next week for episode 43. And we're planning so far ahead. We're already talking about episode 44. 50. I'm talking about episode 44. No, who cares about 44? We're moving on to episode 50, Kenny. Okay. So that means
my bad.
Yeah, up until then it's going to be, just crappy topics, I guess. But we've got a fun anniversary episode we're planning, right, David? Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I've got to scroll about a month in the group chat to, remind myself what that was. But thank you, everybody. Make sure if you're watching on the replay, we appreciate you almost as much. Try to be here live next week. Make sure Follow everybody here. Click all the links down in the description. Most importantly, subscribe to Cleva. And most importantly, stay justified. And we'll see you next Saturday.